Hey everybody, welcome to the Jim Masters Show live. Good to see all those smiley faces, watching all the lovelies, all the viewers all around the world. I'm your host, Jim Masters. It's good to have you with us. Saturday, the last Saturday before Kris Kringle, Santa Claus comes, which is going to be cool and exciting. You're excited about Christmas coming. Happy Hanukkah to everybody celebrating Hanukkah. Merry Christmas to everybody around the world celebrating Christmas. Happy Kwanzaa. Everything we cover here in our festive set here at our home studio. This is the Jim Masters Show Live. I'm your host, Jim Masters. We're entering week number 39 of extraordinary episodes of our what's really like a television show, not like a podcast or a stream. This is really patterned after a television show, bringing back the lost art of conversation, the Jim Masters Show Live. I do this work professionally in the real world as a television and radio presenter, personality, host, journalist, actor, writer, producer, voiceover artist, narrator, stage MC for a good long time on television networks, radio stations, TV stations, on location, freelance, all of the above. Love everything that I do in the industry. And out of all of that was born this entertainment lifestyle talk show series. Very different, very unique for what you see on the internet these days. And I think it's because we are a little bit longer form. We take time. We really learn about you, our lovely viewers all around the world. You learn about me, your host. We have a great relationship together. And then we have lots of fun on the show too. Light, love, and levity, as we call it, or lovity. And the reason why we call it levity was because a few months ago on the air, I was saying love and levity, talking about the show, and I ended up sort of stumbling a little bit. And I said, lovity. And everybody says, wait, stop the presses. We love that word. So all the viewers that watch the Jim Masters Show live call themselves the lovities. So if you're watching as one of our regular, faithful, loyal viewers, or you're watching for the first time, you're now one of our lovities. And we welcome you. We're here every single day. Now, our regularly scheduled broadcast time is 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. And we do have a show tonight with an extraordinary world music singer, songwriter, and musician, Ashley Davis. And she's going to be with us live here tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. However, when we do have great friends and terrific artists and performers, or just guests from any walk of life, because we don't just do music, we also have guests from television and film, Broadway, Hollywood, science, nature, health, wellness, culinary arts, comedy, sports, inspiration, writers, authors, just about everything as a traditional talk show would have. Some of our guests are international, and it's a later time zone for them. So what we do is we adjust the time of our show so it's not too late for them, like our very special guest from the High Kings, singer, songwriter, musician, and my good friend. We've known each other for a long time, Darren Holden, live from Ireland, coming up in just a minute. Of course, you know, he was with Riverdance, the High Kings from the very beginning. He's a brilliant singer-songwriter. The High Kings, very popular. They always sell out wherever they go, including here in the United States. This show comes out of the United States in the greater New York area, between New York and Boston, along the southern New England coast. We welcome all of the lovities. Now, it's great to have you here, and we're very excited to welcome everybody. We're going to show all the comments in just a second. But first, I want to welcome my very special guest here on the show. Really, really cool. We were figuring out some technical things behind the scenes to make sure everything was going to be perfect. And we're so happy that it is. Again, he's live in Ireland right now. It's about 8:15 p.m. We welcome all of our viewers in Ireland, Scotland, England, and all across Europe and around the world, actually, Asia, Australia, Canada, United States, you name it. Darren is extraordinary, and he's been with the High Kings again since the very beginning. And we're so excited to have him here. Let me welcome him to the show, live and direct from Ireland. Darren, hey, how are you? Welcome. It's good to see you. Now, we don't hear you now. No sound. There we go.
How's
Muted,
that?
maybe? There you go. Welcome to 2020.
Oh, yeah. When will it be over?
When will 2020 be over? I tell you, it's crazy.
How are you?
Hey, fantastic, my friend. How have you been? You and I, like I said, we've known each other for a long time, and we initially met through PBS, through public television, when you guys came over to the States as the High Kings, and I interviewed you on public television. We've stayed connected for a long time. And I think you and I were just talking before you went live on the air. That's so cool because that doesn't always happen all the time. And you and I've stayed together, and all the Celtic Thunder lads, Celtic Woman, all the different Irish artists, we've just stayed together and connected. And I think that's a really cool thing, isn't it?
It is essential, Jim, in our industry. And first of all, thank you for such a lovely intro there. I was really chuffed by that. Thank you so much. But yeah, I mean, people like yourself, to me, is very, very important and essential in our music industry because it's so fickle. You meet people along the way and they're gone like that. And there's only a handful that I can actually say that are true friends within the industry. And it's so rare. But you are one of those guys. And I mean, from the word go with the High Kings, you were a huge, huge supporter of us. And even up to, what was it, a year ago, 2 years ago, you came along to introduce us on stage in Connecticut, and it was just amazing just to have you back there. It was like going full circle, and PBS for us was a brilliant, brilliant platform. To start the High Kings off. It was a match made in heaven. It was perfect for us. We were perfect for it, and only for PBS we wouldn't have had such a huge springboard. And the first album. I mean, after 2 appearances on PBS, we were #2 in America. Nobody thought that was going to happen. Nobody expected that. Nobody in our management or label. So thanks to you guys for giving us that start. We'll never forget that.
Yes, yes, I know. It was, and matter of fact, there was a couple of times, like you mentioned, that the emceeing that we did for you guys was terrific. You guys were at the Kate in Old Saybrook, Connecticut, which was was a sold out.
Beautiful theater that is.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then Toad's Place in New Haven too, which was really, really cool.
Yeah. Toad's Place. I mean, a totally different style of venue, but I mean, so historic. And every time I went to Toad's Place, I used to spend about 2 hours wandering around looking at all the posters of artists who had performed there. And it's so historic and it's so, legendary within the industry. All genres of music going in and out of there. And just a brilliant place as well. Just a really, beautiful part of the world to be in.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And lots of comments coming in. We'll show you some of the, now I mentioned to you that the show, the Jim Master Show Live, sort of it's like a television show, entertainment lifestyle talk show series we started some 39 weeks ago and over 200 daily episodes. And this weekend, and some of the guests, like tonight, Ashley Davis is on, Ashley, and of course, Sir James Galway and Lady Jean Galway were last afternoon, and Michael Landra and Orla Fallon, of course, tomorrow, and Phil Coulter, and just all of them. And it's one big happy family, truly, and everybody's been so
really
gracious.
I just got a tickle there because every time I see Ashley, it's usually backstage at a festival. And the only memory I have of ever being with Ashley is just falling around the place laughing at something or other that she says. She's just a brilliant, brilliant girl, brilliant person, ultra talented, and a very hard worker. She's somebody that we all look up to, definitely.
Yeah, she'll be tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 Pacific for everybody. And if anybody misses it, all the episodes of her series are on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. Mary Bishop says, hello, Jim and Lovedies. Welcome, Darren. She's in Florida. Carol Billett says, good evening. Really looking forward to this. A shining light at the end of a dark day. Thank you, Carol. We're here every single day for you with great entertainment, inspiration, and more. Leslie Cummings says, good morning, Jim and Darren. Tuning in from Vancouver. Welcome, Leslie, on our YouTube channel. Jennifer Barry in Allentown, Pennsylvania says, I'm ready for some Irish crack. Got me Jameson Irish whiskey, Sláinte. She's, you're talking our language here, especially today. Hello, Jim and fellow Lovedies. Ready for show number 1 of 2 today? Oh, terrific. I love the fact that you're going to watch both. Good to see you, Bernadette. Hello, Jim and Lovedies. It's so wonderful to be with all of you in Lovedy Hall this afternoon. Good to see you, Sherry, from Juanita in South Africa, one of our regular Lovedy viewers. Hello, Jim and all the lovely Lovedies. Hope you're having a great Saturday. You as well. Ian says, okay. Ian Brown McLean. I love that.
I know Ian Brown. Ian Brown's great. Hi, Ian.
Good to see you, Ian. And is he from Ireland there?
I think Ian's from Kansas City.
Oh, Kansas City. Okay. Yeah. A lot of Irish in Kansas City as well. Absolutely.
Brilliant place for the Irish.
Willie goes, hello, Jim and Lovities. Here's that woman from Holland. Have a nice show with our Mr. Lovity. That's Willie, who watches from the Netherlands, one of
Awesome.
our lovely viewers. Jennifer Barry says, happy holidays, Darren. Slansha, Kathy in Cleveland, Ohio. Hello, Jim and our lovely family. Happy Saturday, which is cool. It's a very interactive show. We like to bring in the viewers, like you guys do when you're on stage, bring in the audience. I do that with this as well. Mary says, hello, everyone. I thought it was going to be late. Good to have you with us, Mary. Thanks for watching. Everybody's saying good to see you. CM says hello from Arizona. Really. Juanita says, so many lovely Irish lads. Oh, well, a lot of the lads and lassies, as they call, have been on the show. And Bernadette goes, Lovely Hall is like Cheers, where everybody knows your name. Absolutely. And they're always glad you came. It's very true, Bernadette. This is a good way to sum it up. M. Schmidt says, hello, everyone from Center Valley, Pennsylvania. Hope you all doing well. Looking forward to a great chat. Absolutely. Some Irish crack. And we always have to explain what we're saying here in the States when we say we did crack on the show last night.
Yeah.
Because they'll be like,
there a few times, Jim. I've been caught out with that one a couple of times.
Saying, that was a lot of crack. We did a lot of crack last night. It's like, wait a minute. I don't want to end up in the papers tomorrow for that reason.
All the wrong reasons,
Yeah, that's it. Couple more comments coming in here. Patricia says, hello from Germany. Good to welcome you here on the episode. Nice to have you here. And exactly. And Ann Wozniak is here. Happy Saturday, Jim, and all lovities. And we started just a little bit later. There was some craziness with the computer, that you were having.
We had gremlins, Jim.
Yeah, there were some gremlins in Darren's computer there in Ireland.
Christmas without gremlins, though?
Yeah, that's it. But we don't give up. We just keep going forward, right? And that's what it's all about. I mean, it can happen live on TV, on radio, on stage. Yeah, it could happen at any time. So let's see. Oh, okay. I need this tonight because Christmas was canceled in the UK today. Lockdown here from tomorrow. Yeah. Well, here in the States, where this whole situation is really bad, not good at all. Nobody's really traveling anywhere, not even to go to see relatives or family for Christmas. They didn't. Yep. Some did it, but a lot of people aren't, just to be safe, because it's, right now there's like 3,000 people a day that are going, that's 9/11 every day, and it's unreal.
It's so heartbreaking. It's so heartbreaking because it's like there are some days you don't want to look at the news, but you kind of have to, because we really are genuinely all in this together.
We are.
And my heart is breaking for, especially this time of year. You're coming to the end of a big year for all the wrong reasons, and people are definitely going to be hurting now. For anybody who lost somebody along the way, our thoughts and prayers are with you. But my parents, who are in their 80s, I saw them for the first time in 4 months today. They came to visit, and it was so weird because we had a very quick picture. We took off masks for like 20 seconds and we had a picture, and because my daughter made her confirmation on Wednesday, and they couldn't come because
congratulations,
we're only lifted yesterday here for a little while, so they could come today, and they spent a little while here, and it was lovely to see them, but it was still kind of like I don't think I could like this. I really don't think so.
And they said that even with the vaccines coming, we still will and should wear the masks for a little bit after. You can't. They're afraid that once they, people have heard about the vaccines, they're gonna get lazy and not. They're like, oh, okay, well, I'll just keep doing what I'm doing, which is not wearing masks or whatever they're doing. And because the vaccine's coming, but
you could actually see that because people were definitely letting their guard down over here because the news came hot and heavy. We got a vaccine, and then there was another vaccine, and you could see people going, okay, then that's it, it's done. Even though that's not the case at all. It was everybody needed to kind of be vigilant again and regimental about it and keep doing what we're meant to be doing. And I know there's a lot of people saying against the whole vaccine thing and the anti-maskers, but at the end of the day, listen, you have to think of the people who are not so well off than us. People who have health issues and the elderly and people we love. We have to do it, but it's simple as that.
Absolutely. Wonderful lovities here. Hello, Jim and Darren from Melody Schmidt in Center Valley, Pennsylvania. Deb says hi from North Carolina. Welcome, Deb, on our YouTube channel. Everybody on the YouTube channel, we would love it if you subscribe to our channel. That's really cool. We just hit a milestone with the channel, which is exciting. We're building that. Sue Flowers is here. Good seeing and hearing you again, Darren. Hope you and your family are well. All is well with us here in West Virginia. And Ian says hello as well. Dan says hello from Scotland.
Hi, Dan.
And Woshi.
Sounds great, actually. Yeah.
You know Dan as well?
Yeah. Dan's, he interviewed us a couple of times in Dublin. He's in college, but he's also going to be a great, great journalist when he leaves college. He's fantastic.
Fantastic. Nice to have you watching, Dan, from Scotland. And Anne is here, says, I love your video of May the Road Rise to Meet You. That is my go-to for a pick-me-up, which is nice. And another guest we had about a week ago, Connor McGinty's watching. Really looking forward to hearing Darren's story, Southern Comfort in Hand. What a great Saturday night.
You're all making me jealous with you, Jim. I think you said you had a Bailey's or something. So Connor's got a Southern Comfort. Somebody else got whiskey. I've got water. This is not fair. It's Saturday.
May your days be merry and bright to one and all. See, that's the problem, Darren.
Fantastic. But
your computer problems happened because you didn't have something in your hand. See, if you had something in your hand, it would have been fine.
Listen, it's boring. It's boring.
That's why your computer went down. It wasn't used to seeing just water. Mary says hello from Tennessee. Denise says hello, lovities. Looking forward to a great conversation today. And Marianne says, thank you for the joy you're giving us through music during this time of lockdown. Indiana says, Merry Christmas. Welcome, Marianne. We love having you here. Ian or Denise says, coffee and Bailey's here. Get a drink, Darren. Well, with the computer issues he had before, he was on the verge of not getting just a drink, but getting a bottle.
I was.
That's right. But if he wasn't electronically tethered to his seat, he would have gone over to the other room. Music
it was like 2 minutes to showtime, and I'm jumping over things here, trying to get another option. You know.
I know.
Just for anybody who was wondering what we're talking about, my MacBook literally decided to not do this like 30 seconds before showtime, even though I've checked the link 3 times yesterday, a couple of times the day before, and it was hunky-dory, and today it decided to not participate in the joy. So
like 10 minutes before the show, Darren and I were scrambling. That's why people were posting, where's Jim? Jim's not opening the door. Well, Jim's Irish. It'll take him some time. And I'm like, wait a minute. What are we talking about? I'm sitting right here. We're doing a crisis hotline.
And we were.
And it worked out. He tried every piece of technology that you could think of. We were going to do 2 cups and a string, if that we needed to do that, or to use our walkie-talkies, perhaps. Whatever it takes to please our audience. Blue Blade Vlog says, Ian says hello from Kansas City. And LaDonna, hello from Kentucky. Welcome. And
Lindy, that's Lindy. Lindy is one of my great friends who always wants to see us in the United States. A really, really amazing person. And Carl in the UK. Carl runs all my online social media stuff. So I would be absolutely lost without Carl in a big, big way. I'm not very technical, as we already established. So, I do what I can. I'm okay, but Carl is my go-to person when I'm in a crisis.
You're used to having people already, set it up on stage and everything. And Julia says hello from Tennessee. And Carol, I see Darren has his emerald guitar at the ready. Yeah, he's going to play for us as well soon, folks, as well. There it is. And Juanita in South Africa suggests, go get a drink, Darren. We will discuss your chair while you're gone. You'll get a shot of the chair. Well, I want to let everybody know that Darren and I were sort of counting the days or years that he and I have really known each other for quite some time. Matter of fact, of course, I knew of him on Riverdance. But then the High Kings came along, and there we are in the PBS studio with the whole gang. And they came into the studio, and everybody's there. And you see Darren to the right of me, and Brian to the left, and the whole gang. And they were in the public television studios, and I was interviewing the lads as they had a PBS special for the High Kings. And this was really the debut of the High Kings on national television in America. So after we had so much fun, so much laughter. I mean, everybody that was there was laughing. The phones were ringing. It was just a really cool night. But this is when we all met actually that night. And you remember that night well, don't you, Darren?
Absolutely, absolutely. Those were the great days, though. In fairness, that was so new for us, at the time. Like I had never done PBS when I was doing moving out PR before I joined the High Kings. So PBS was a whole new learning process for me to not only be selling the product and the band, but also getting on the phone, manning the phones, and talking to people who were buying into the whole thing. And it was a wonderful time. We had so much fun, Jim.
Absolutely. And it's funny when people always see the photos of me with either you guys, the High Kings, or the Celtic Thunder lads, they always say, are you one of the Thunder lads? Are you one of the Kings? Because I say, well, it is the Irish in me that maybe could make that blend happen.
But you were always with either
Always.
one or the other of us during that whole
Right.
period. You know what I mean? It was like
Yeah,
you weren't away from us at all at that time, which was great because we needed somebody like yourself to kind of like maneuver us through all of that as well. And you were a kind of a calming influence when things got a bit hectic, and they were hectic at the start. We didn't
sure.
stop. We were like, again, it was another level of PR and interviews and everything, and we were exhausted after one week. And it was
Yeah.
people like you that was like, oh, you were such a welcome, calming influence on us when things were getting a bit too heavy. So
I
appreciate that.
appreciate that, my friend. Then you came to the States again, and you guys were in New Haven, Connecticut at Toad's Place and asked if I would like to be master of ceremonies and MC the concert. So this is actually backstage there at Toad's Place in New Haven, Connecticut.
A great
And
place.
I emceed that. And that was another night, and that was another sold out night too. That's the emphasis, is that these concerts really sell out and people are on their feet. They're having such a good time. So there we are again, Darren, of course, on the end there. I'm the center. And which was really cool because I was, I'm sort of like I don't know, Irish gentleman, like we all are, I guess, gracious, whatever. So I was going to be on the end. I said, no, you guys, I'll be on the end. You guys, and you guys were like, no, 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 Jim, we want you in the middle. So you guys put me in the middle. I thought you did it here. And, some people say I want the middle and that's not my style, but you guys said, no, Jim, we want you in the middle, which I think was really cool and just, shows the class that you guys
Absolutely.
have.
We look
And
like a boy band when you're with us, Jim.
don't we? That's right. We're on
We're
tour.
like
We do.
NSYNC with those guys, Backstreet
Right.
Boys.
Absolutely. And then this was too, I think this was the old Saybrook at the Kate
Wow, look at
too. And I was master of ceremonies for that one for you guys as well. And then this was backstage with you and Brian. And then this one you took.
right.
And you had posted that as well, and which was really, really cool. So we've known each other for a long time and we've stayed connected, and it's just been really awesome to do that. And like you say, it's just natural and it's so rare. And that's why I said, I really wanted to have you come on the show as a guest because I've always believed in your work. Bernadette says, great photo. Thanks. And Connor says, great relationship you both have. Great to see there is genuine people out there in the industry. Thanks, Connor. Blue says, Ian, missed watching you guys at the Kansas City Irish Fest. Hope to see you guys I like that. When life is tidy again. That's a good way to.
Oh, there's a song there. I may have to write that.
Yeah. When life is tidy again with
Yeah.
levity.
Yeah.
So a little bit history here. For you, when you first got started, what was that like as a kid? Were you influenced by your parents, by family, by teachers? Everybody has always told me, and I always knew this too, even with Irish relatives, and a lot of people, I think even Connor McGinty said it about a week ago, that in Ireland, when you're born, male or female, they usually hand you, the parents or grandparents, either a fiddle or a guitar or a flute. Some instrument is going to be handed to you early when you're a kid. And that's why there's so many people from Ireland play all these different instruments, and they tend to be performers and great entertainers, joke tellers as well. How about you? Was an instrument placed in your hand early on as a kid? What sparked your
Yeah,
inspiration, Darren?
yeah, it wasn't exactly like that. I think there was always music around the family, but nobody in my family played music per se. But there was always music played in the house on the radio or on records. We always had it was mostly kind of early country 50s rock and roll records. There was some Clancy Brothers, some Wolf Tones, but it was mostly Elvis Presley, Johnny Cash, Glenn Campbell. I loved Glenn Campbell growing up because my mom always played him. Going to church, the church in Mooncoin in Kilkenny, where I'm from, was right across the street. So a lot of my early musical influence would have come from hearing the choir there, which my mom and my auntie was a part of the choir. And I think I started off learning some of the hymns that they would sing. And I started hearing harmonies then for the first time. And it kind of sparked off an interest in music for me. Um, as regards an instrument, no, there wasn't one placed in my hands immediately. However, most houses back in those days had what we call a good room, or it's also known as the parlor. And so we would have had a piano in that room at that time. And I was kind of sneaking in and out of that room when I wasn't allowed and playing the piano. And I ended up kind of teaching myself how to play the piano purely by accident, purely by making mistakes and learning again. This was about 7 or 8 years old, and I just started finding harmonies and started singing Everly Brothers songs or Elvis Presley songs. And my parents actually caught me going in there one day, and instead of scolding me for being in there, they actually sort of said, "Well, you've got something going on, so let's send you to lessons." So yeah, I took on lessons in the next village to where I grew up, a place called Pilltown, and I learned music theory. And from there, went on to college in Waterford City, um, in the Institute of Technology there, and did all my music exams there. And yeah, but I was always surrounded by music in some form. So I'm blessed to be. My parents still continue to influence what I listen to, even to this day. If they hear a song that they think that the High Kings could do or I should learn, then they'll call me and say, "You need to listen to this." And I think that's just brilliant. It keeps you so grounded. And even today we sat around having some food here, having dinner, and the chat was about music and songs from long, long, long ago, that aren't heard anymore. And they compile lists for me. When I say we're doing a High Kings album, they'll send me up lists, and I think it's so cool. Again, it goes back to what we were talking about keeping it sort of old school, and I much prefer to do it that way.
That's really, really cool, and it's a great story and a great progression. So your parents they were supporting you, which I think is a very important thing, because sometimes that doesn't always happen. They realized that you had this interest and this desire, Darren, and this passion, and you wanted to foster that and grow that. As things were going along for you and your own journey there in Ireland, what were some of those doors that were opening, some of those opportunities that were coming your way, that were getting your name out further, that were honing your craft, fine-tuning your skills, where people were noticing who Darren is and projects or opportunities were starting to develop for you?
Well, again, it goes back to the village of Mooncoin when I was very young, and again back to the church. When I was 11 years old, the church organist, a fella called Klaus Cantwell, who's sadly departed a few years back,
Yeah.
he was like a legend in Mooncoin. So he would have been a hero to me musically, and I would have listened to everything he did. I would have watched him on the choir. But Klaus, he had an illness one time around the time I was 11, and he couldn't he couldn't play the church organ every Sunday at mass. And I again sort of was thrust into the spotlight for that, and the choir said to me, "Well, can't you do it?" And I was terrified, of course, because I didn't think I could. I mean, it was a pipe organ, so I got on the bench and I was able to play, but my legs wouldn't reach the pedals, so I had to do it in a way that it was a bit different. But I did learn, and I was so terrified. The first couple of masses, I was freaked out, but it gave me a sort of a spur to get on and do it, because at the end of each mass, I got a round of applause, and the priest at the time mentioned my name, and it was just sort of a thing where, that felt really, really nice, and it was the recognition. You could see that sometimes you perform and you get a bit of recognition for it, and it was a lovely feeling. And I think that was one of the first things. And then from that, I went into the Mooncoin Ceilidh band when I was 13 years old, and that was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday nights, being brought around to Irish dance gigs, chaperoned by one of my parents. Looking back, I probably was a little bit too young to be in some of the places I was in, but again, I learned a good bit from it about being on the road, about how things are. But it definitely gave me an interest in performing as a proper live musician. So about 15 years old, I started a rockabilly trio called Breakaway, because I was a massive, massive fan of the Stray Cats from Long Island.
Yeah, Long Island, right?
And Slim Jim and Lee Rocker, those guys. I mean, and to this day, I love them. But I wanted to be like those guys. And I used to go into secondary school, high school, you guys call it. Everybody else was wearing the AC/DC patches and the long hair. And I was going in with the Elvis quiff and the Brian Setzer look. And everybody was calling me a freak. But I kind of even loved that. I kind of loved that I wasn't fitting in, and it was different. And it was, again, a first Friday. We had a thing called the First Friday Mass in school, and I played the piano and at one of the masses, and suddenly I became cool.
Right.
It was like, oh, he's really good at music, and friendships started to form. So again, music taught me something else there, that it's a door opener, and it's a relationship starter, and there was all these positives coming from music. Yeah, but I left school at 17, and I've worked in music ever since. So, and that's a long time.
How did the Riverdance opportunity come about for you? Because that was big.
The Riverdance thing came about because I had sort of in the late 90s, I was sort of in the mid 90s, I was doing this pop thing. It sort of was marketed around Europe as sort of this like a Donny Osmond style,
like a pop star.
Yeah, and I was doing well, and I was doing well in places like I toured Russia a lot. I toured Russia with Bonnie Tyler and Paul Young, and I toured Asia with Belinda Carlisle. I did some gigs with Earth, Wind and Fire over in Asia, and I was just opening up. I was on the radio in Finland, Scandinavia, Hungary, just weird, not weird places, but strange places for an Irish artist to be played in the 90s. And that was due to a record label I was with in Europe who were really good. But after that, I was a little bit burned by that after a while. It was constant touring, and I just needed to kind of regroup. And about 1998, I decided, to my manager's horror at the time, that I wanted to step back and take time away from the music industry. So I took a year off. 1999, my manager came back to me and he said, there's this show starting. It's called Rhythm of the Dance. It's like a sort of a copycat show of Riverdance, but it's a bit different. They're looking for a male lead vocalist. And I kind of went, I don't know. Give me a minute to think about it. So I took about a week. And then I said, look, what have I got to lose? I'll get back into it. So I went out, did the show, and it was in these ice hockey arenas all over Europe, and they were all packed. So the buzz came back to me. The buzz came back, and it was like, oh, I like this again. But for numerous reasons, it was the right thing to do. I did sort of hem and haw about it, but I met Michelle on that show, my wife. Now, that was 21 years ago. She was one of the lead dancers, and we hit it off immediately. So for that reason alone, it was the right thing to do to get into that show.
Yeah. And they just celebrated a major anniversary too.
John McColgan from Riverdance saw me and approached me backstage at one of the shows. I think I was in Copenhagen. And he said, I need you to be in the Broadway production. We're putting a Broadway production together. I need you to be in that. So I spoke to Michelle, and Michelle was like, go for it. She gave me her blessing. I moved to New York. She followed me over, and the rest is history. I was in Riverdance and Broadway for 18 months, toured the show for 18 months around America. And yeah, it was just the start of a love affair with the United States for me.
And they just celebrated a major anniversary this year, Riverdance too. Yeah.
I
which
was
is
actually
real.
meant to go to. I was invited to go to the 25th anniversary here in Dublin, but I was sick on the day, so I couldn't make it, and I was so bummed because everybody that I used to know on the show was there.
Was in it.
But I still keep in contact with John and Moya, and I've seen Michael Flatley a couple of times in the last few years, and he's a great supporter of the hiking. So he's always messaging me to find out what we're doing and what's going on. A really good supporter of the band. But the Riverdance crew and gang have always been great. We've always and will always be family. You know, whatever happens in the industry, we're all in it together.
After Riverdance, what was the transition from there after Riverdance? Where did you head from there?
Well, that was where everything changed for me, Jim, because I had decided to leave Riverdance and come back to Ireland in early 2003, and about April of 2003, my agent Merle in New York, Merle Freimark, my agent at the time, rang me up one day and she said, "There's this show going on Broadway. It's just literally open. It's called Moving Out. It's right up your
Right.
street. It's Billy Joel." So I was like, "Wow, that's interesting." And she said, "Look, I know they're looking for a second piano man for that show, and they're having a terrible time, you know, finding one." Like Merle was, she represented a lot of Broadway artists, so I knew she knew
Right.
what she was talking about. But I kind of said, "Gee, Merle," I said, "Look, how is little old me from Ireland going to have any shot at that? I mean, they're bound to find somebody." And she said, "Trust me, they're not finding anybody. Can I just get you in for an audition?" I was like, "Yeah, what do I have to lose? Not to lose." And it was in May 2003. I was in New Jersey with Riverdance. I took a bit of time off, went into New York, went into SIR Studios, 51st Street, and I did my audition. And it was Billy's band were there setting up and everything. And there was 8-piece band. I had rehearsed about 5 or 6 songs. Um, the directors, the producers, the choreographers were all there on tiered seating. And it went really well. I think I might have made a couple of small mistakes, but nothing to kind of, you know, deter them, and they were clapping and stuff. But what I didn't know at the time was Billy was there, but he was
Mhm.
hiding at the back with a baseball cap on, incognito. So I thanked everybody after my audition. I left, and as soon as I left, the door opened and slammed behind me, and it was Billy. And he said, "What's your plans?" And I said, "Well, I was going to go home. You know, after the initial shock of seeing Billy wore off, I said I was going to go home." Um, so he said, "Well, what can I do to persuade you?" And I was like, "Not much." I said, I'll do whatever you want me to do." So he
Just the
said,
fact that
"Go
you're
home."
standing me asking
Yeah,
that is enough to persuade me,
yeah.
right?
So what he did was he said, "Look,
Wow.
I'll fly you all home, and only if you come back in 2 weeks." So I said, "Yeah, absolutely." So I came back 2 weeks later, and he started to coach me then on the piece on the role, which was amazing, and it was a dream come true, and sort of a pinch me moment that I was working with him so closely, and just a wonderful, wonderful time.
And look at this. When I hear Piano Man, I don't think of Billy Joel. Haha. I think of Darren Holden.
Hallelujah.
M. Schmidt says, so was that the first time you drove in the US? New York must have been a crazy place to start driving on the opposite side of the road.
No, you know what? Funnily enough, it wasn't the first place, and I was so scared the first time I drove in New York or the first time I drove in the States, that it was Appleton, Wisconsin. I remember it very, very well, and it was a thrown in the deep end sort of thing where I had no choice but to to um, to learn how to drive in the States. And that's because when I took moving out on the road all over the States, I was provided with a car because I had so much PR to do. And it was just one of those things where it was in at the deep end and get used to driving on the other side of the road and just keep it all going and try not to hit anybody else. And it was wonderful. I loved driving then after that. But the most daunting place I drove, two of the most daunting places I drove are Los Angeles and New York. New York was a whole other kettle of fish. I mean,
Yeah.
I haven't driven
Yeah.
in New York in a long time, and I don't think I will again.
The San Francisco area is a little interesting as well. And
Very interesting.
Massachusetts, too, is
Yeah.
a whole other world.
Oh,
It's really,
absolutely. Oh, you
yeah,
said it. You said it. Absolutely.
yeah,
100%.
the Boston area. Well, that's cool. And it's nice comments coming in here, my friend. Darren's personality is exactly as you see him. Absolutely. We know that. He's kind, great family man, great supporter of local community. When you meet him on the street, he comes across as an ordinary neighbor and friend.
Uh,
More than
Dave, that's Dave.
likely,
Dave is one of my best friends. Yeah, I love
that's
Dave.
David. Good to have you here, David, and welcome. And it's probably one of the reasons why you and I have stayed connected, because we work in industries where there's so many people that are not like that. So when you find people that are like that, you sort of become kindred spirits, and you stay connected, which I think is a cool testament to it all. Connor says, amazing soaking up all your experiences tonight. Love that story with Billy. And Juanita in South Africa says, did you come to South Africa with Riverdance? Did they ever go to South Africa?
No, no, we didn't go. I think the show may have went to South Africa, but I wasn't in that particular company. I think that would have been I want to say not the Shannon company. I actually can't think of what company it was, but it wasn't the one we were in. The one I was in was predominantly the United States.
Yeah.
But I was in Africa. I climbed Kilimanjaro about 10 years ago for charity. So that's the only time I was on African soil. And that was amazing.
What was that like, climbing Kilimanjaro for charity? I mean, that's an extraordinary thing. And, when you get a chance to do something like that, it's once in a lifetime. And what was that like for you? And we also have proof of you doing that.
Oh my God. Well, that picture was taken right after I collapsed in a blubbering mess because I hadn't made it. It's so high that it actually, even though you hear all the horror stories before you do it, you don't think too much about them until you're actually in the midst of that. That reduced grown men into babies. We all just hugged each other because it was such, it was the realization of the achievement then. But that was a week that we'll never forget. There was friendships forged there that will last 10 lifetimes.
Oh, yeah.
Because we were all there for each other. And it was so isolating at times. There was at times you were doing the trek in your own pace. You would skip away from the pack and then rejoin, and it would give you time to sort of get your inner thoughts and everything. And it really where you're going in life, because you're in the middle of nowhere and you're thousands of miles away from home, and you do really rethink everything. But it was just an incredible experience to be doing it for Our Lady's Hospital here in Dublin. It's for sick children. And every time we thought of that, it gave us, every time we got tired, it was like, no, this is nothing compared to what those kids are going through. So
absolutely,
let's plow on, let's do this. And
keep going.
10 years in October just gone, and everybody who did that got together online, and we all said hi to each other. And again, like I said, those friendships are forever.
Do you remember how high that was at its peak?
Kilimanjaro? Well, I can't remember exactly, but I can tell you it made us cry, so it was very high.
You were definitely a high king that day.
Definitely a high king. Yeah,
literally.
I think one of the newspapers here did that as well. High king is a high king or something like that. It was
right. Exactly, which is cool. We have a couple of photos here too. Darren's going to play some music. We have other things to share with you too. So great day of entertainment here. Here's another shot. Tell us about this one. This is something very special.
That's General Martin Dempsey, actually. That was taken in the Pentagon in 2015. General Dempsey, what happened there was we had already been over to the White House a couple of times, but General Dempsey became a fan of the band, and he requested from our management the front row of a concert in Virginia that we were doing, because he wanted to celebrate his retirement from his role as the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff for President Obama. Well, we realized how important he was, and we reached out back to him, and we said, look, would you like us to come to you and honor you with a private performance? And, on one hand, we were kind of chancing our arm, being the Irish guys. That's what we do, And lo and behold, he was bowled over by that idea. So we flew over, we went to Washington, and we had a private lunch with General Dempsey in the Pentagon. We got a full tour of things that we, probably will never dream of seeing. We laid a wreath at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier in Arlington Cemetery, and then went to the Pentagon and had lunch with him and his lovely wife. And we sang a couple of songs, and he joined us for a couple of little impromptu songs as well. And he's an absolutely brilliant man. And I was only in contact with him recently because I just wanted to wish him a happy Christmas, and I hope to see the new year. I'm trying to get him to come back to see us whenever all this craziness is over. But he's a dude. He's a really nice man, and very intelligent guy. He brought us into places in the Pentagon where we probably shouldn't have been, Jim.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
very special places, right?
Very special places. And it was one kind of, we were like that the whole time. We were down in the bowels of the place, let's say, the dungeon as they call it, and he was like, anybody got any questions? And nobody said anything because we were just going, well, what do we ask him here,
Yeah.
So I said, well, I got a question. And he goes, what is it? And I hope I can answer it. And I was like, where's Elvis?
Where's Elvis and
he
where's
laughed,
Jimmy?
he laughed and he gave me a wink and he said nothing
Where,
else. It was so funny.
yeah. Where's Elvis and where's Jimmy Hoffa?
There's Jimmy
It's
Hoffa,
like, are they in the same spot? Here's another cool shot, my friend. And again, welcome to all the new folks watching from all around the world. If you're just joining us, I'm your host, Jim Masters. This is our entertainment lifestyle talk show series we've been doing for almost 40 weeks, 200 plus episodes. Everybody watching on our YouTube channel, we welcome you all around the world. We have an international audience. We're very interactive, and this is where we're bringing back the lost art of conversation, entertainment, and more. Anybody watching on YouTube, we would love it if you subscribe to our channel, Jim Masters TV. That would be beautiful and awesome and a great gift. We thank you very much. And here is, again, that shot you were talking about, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, that's
that was such a beautiful.
A lot of Americans don't even get a chance to do that. So that is a great honor.
Yeah. And if we needed reminding even on the day of how important that was, my dear departed friend, Charlie Brock, who left us this year, Charlie phoned me that day because I was telling him how things were going and I was giving him a rundown of everything. And he said, Darren, no, there's millions, if not billions of Americans who will never do what you did today. And it was a huge, huge deal. And it made national news here because so many Irish people will never do that, and it was one of the perks of the industry. I always say there's perks along the way. And that's one of the ones that they're kind of hard to top, those ones, like that in the White House and things of that importance. Just amazing, really fantastic.
And again, when you have an opportunity to come across times like that, those are the times that you're going to really remember the most, these rare moments, these rare opportunities to celebrate incredible things like that, my friend. We have some more shots here that I would love to grace our audience with. Here's another cool one.
Oh,
there you go. President Bush and Mrs. Bush and you and lovely wife. That's quite amazing. Tell us about that feeling.
Well, that was in December 2004 when I was in Washington, D.C. with Moving Out. And I was playing at the National Theatre I think we were there for 2 months. And I love DC because it's so historic. Obviously, there's so many things to do there. But the national Christmas tree lighting was happening in early December, and I think somebody from the White House staff had come to see the show, and then they invited me through our agent to come and sing with the Marine Corps band at the Christmas tree lighting. At the White House, which was absolutely incredible. And I met President Bush and his lovely wife, Laura. Michelle was with me. And at the time, Michelle was actually pregnant with Josh, our firstborn, who arrived in 2005. So it was extra special. I always tell Josh he was there in some form as well. But there's actually, not only was it amazing to, be performing with the Marine Corps band, but there you go. I was just about to tell you about that shot. President Bush joined me to duet on a couple of Christmas songs. I think that one there was we were doing Jingle Bells, and he's such a funny guy. He's a really, really nice man for a man in his position. And at the time he'd been through a lot, and he was getting a lot of stick for this, that, or the other. But when I talked to him a few times that night, he was a gentleman, and he was a really, really nice guy. And I have nothing but great time for President Bush. And even since he left office, he's just won more and more, many millions of people over with his brilliant personality. I just think.
Did you discuss foreign affairs and things like that afterwards?
I'm actually having a little trouble hearing you right now, Jim. I don't know if you're noticing that.
A little bit, yeah. You're good on our end. I think it might be. How is that phone doing? Is the charge still good on your end?
Yeah, no, you're back now. Yeah.
You're good. So discussing foreign affairs with the president at the same time?
Yeah. Do you know that picture actually? That picture was taken and it made all the national papers across America. Somebody from St. Louis actually sent me on a newspaper with that picture on the front page in 2004. It was absolutely incredible, you know, and I had no idea that was going to go across everything, and it made the news. Made Sky News here in Ireland as well, because my parents got phone calls from numerous people to say, "Oh, Darren was on the TV with President Bush," and they were like, "What was he doing?" You know, it was just brilliant. It was great, really great fun.
That's right. He's on TV with an American president. What is he doing? Let's find out quickly. What is he doing?
Yeah,
That is fantastic. That's really amazing. You know, good on you for that. Here's another one, Darren. The Obamas,
that was
president.
yeah, that was amazing. That was the time. Well, we had played for President Obama when he came over to Ireland, to his hometown, or his ancestral home in Moneygall. And so he loved the band. He loved what we did, and Michelle loved this as well. It was absolutely incredible, and we thought that was the end of that relationship. Fast forward less than a year, and we got an invite to come and perform for them at the White House at the annual St. Patrick's Day event that they hold there every year with the handing over of the Shamrock, and our Prime Minister of the time was there, and all the dignitaries from the Democratic Party mostly were in the room at the time, and it was lovely to see that as well. It was a really, really wonderful thing. So I was very, very honored again to be with President Obama. And he actually went on record one time, funny over here, he was asked who was his favorite, does he like Irish music? And he said he did. Who were his favorite bands? And he said, well, at the moment it's U2 and the High Kings. And we got so much mileage out of that, I can't even begin to tell you, because President Obama had said it. It was like, oh, it must be true, you know, it must be true. We got to check these guys out. So it was really, really funny.
That is really cool, my friend, and to have that opportunity. Again, these are extraordinary. People are commenting too, just taking a look at all these great comments. Cheryl says, such great memories. And LaDonna says, love this picture. Bernadette says, great photos, such memories for you. Really, really cool stuff. And Molly says, love all the High Kings, but Darren is my favorite. And Denise says,
so
what an
I'll send on the money.
Yes, that's right. Exactly. What an amazing tour of the Pentagon. Denise Ola was saying as well. And we have some more photos we're going to sprinkle, but we also have a version of you you're going to perform live for us as well, which everybody's all excited about, my friend. But you also have a great version you've done of Amazing Grace that we have on video that we're going to share with our lovely viewers all around the world here. Let's take a look at this. Darren doing his thing. This is the one where you're in black and white. I think you're doing this at the house, right?
Yeah, well, I did loads of stuff during lockdown. It was like when I came back from the tour with the High Kings that we had to postpone. I just decided to start doing some songs that were meaningful, like some things like Bridge Over Troubled Water, and you know, things that, you know, I think it was a very poignant time around the world for a lot of people. People were reaching out looking for stuff, and some songs with meaning, and some lyrics and melodies with meaning, and you know, emotional. And Amazing Grace is one of the most beautiful songs of all time. So I gave that a shot, and I started doing this little series of things here at home on my piano, and just singing and playing, and it got a really nice reaction and a really nice response. So I was very, very proud and very honored to be able to do something that hopefully, you know, got people to a better place a few minutes later than, you know, if anybody was going through a crisis, which many people were throughout the year. So I was very pleased and honored with that.
Well, a very poignant song, especially, you know, like you said, with everything we've all been going through this particular year of crazy 2020. Kathy Short says, loving the photos, Jim and Darren. What great memories. So exciting. Thank you, Kathy. We're glad you're enjoying all of this and learning more about Darren. Perhaps you've known about him. Maybe you've seen him on stage, maybe on television. And now you're getting a chance to learn a little bit more, because we do inspiring conversations and the backstories here on the Jim Masters Show Live. We don't, you know, rush interviews. We don't even call
it. Jim, I'm hearing your voice echo. I'm so sorry.
Oh, that's okay. So you're hearing me in stereo. You're hearing me twice.
Somebody's saying I'm their favorite human. That's great. Tell
Yeah,
my wife, please.
yeah, you're seeing that, right? He's so nice and humble, easily a favorite. Let's go to that. Maybe you can check out the audio toy with that. It could be because of the lack of the headphones, maybe. I think the headphones reduce that echo, reverb, that looping of the audio. Because what happens is you're hearing my audio come out of your speakers or your phone speaker, but your mic is picking that up and shooting it back to you. That's what it is. So while you toy with all the toys, we're going to serenade, or you're going to serenade our lovely viewers around the world on the Jim Master Show, my friend, with Amazing Grace. And then we'll be back. Darren will be back with us in just a second. Here we go, folks. This is really a great version. Enjoy it. And thanks for joining us today. Happy holidays, everybody.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to view, and grace my fears relieved. How precious dear that grace appeared. The hour I first believed. Through many dangers, toils, and snares, I have already come. 'Tis grace that brought me safe thus far, and grace will lead me home. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. Was blind, but now I see.
Really nice, my friend. I just want to show you some of the comments that are coming in from the lovelies all around the world here who are really expressing themselves, which we love here on the show. We're very big with that. Bernadette says, such a terrific rendition
Wow.
of Amazing Grace. Really love that. A couple more coming in here. LaDonna says, chill bumps.
Wow.
Chill bumps. Or as we say, goosebumps, the same thing. I don't know where the goose ever came from. How did they ever? Actually, you would figure they should be called chill bumps because you get a chill and then you get the bumps. I mean, do geese have bumps?
I don't know.
Somebody
we
investigate
call them goose pimples over here.
You say goose pimples. Yeah, I mean, we got to dig
That's
that.
even worse.
Bernadette Vidal, get on that. You like to Google. Check that out. How did it ever become goose? She likes to check things out. Nan Milligan says, wonderful. She's watching. Good to have
Thank
you
you.
with us once again. Our lovely friend here, Nan, watching. A couple more coming in. Sometimes they move so fast we can't even keep up with them here. Patricia says, so beautiful. Everybody watching on YouTube at Jim Masters TV.
Thank you.
We welcome you. Fantastic from Juanita in South Africa. Loving it as well. Nan says, my favorite hymn. And David Malone says, doesn't Darren's voice just get in on you guys? And Carol says, amazing indeed. Vocal chills. Vocal chills. That's cool.
Wow.
Chills. That's it. Well, in just about 10 minutes, we're going to start selling our Lovity blankets for all the people that are having chills.
There you go, Jim. You got it sorted, man.
We're going to have to brand up quickly some
Everything
Lovity
sales,
blankets. We're going to have to get some Lovity merch.
Absolutely. Let's talk afterwards.
That's it. Wowza. Wonderful. That's getting right to the point. Love it. CM says Darren does fabulous renditions of all the songs he does.
Thank you.
He really is a super talent.
Thank you, everybody. It really means a lot to see that. And thanks to everybody for taking the time.
Oh, that's what they do on this show.
I really do appreciate it. Thank you.
It's our pleasure. That's what the show is all about, my friend. Light, love, levity, good times. Kathleen Walker says in New York City says beautiful. She got the hearts, the prayers. Kathy Short in Cleveland, Ohio. What an amazing voice. Jennifer Barry, Allentown, Pennsylvania. Awesome, Darren. Slancha. Lindana says, so gifted.
Wow.
Marianne says, when you pull the feathers on a goose, there are bumps on the skin. Grandma taught me. Marianne, you win a Lovity blanket as soon as we get them done. So that's a lot of projects for 2021. You know how that goes, right?
Definitely.
Connor McGinty says, brilliant. Thanks, Connor.
Thanks, Connor. Thank you.
But we had a great epic episode with him a couple weeks ago, too. He was
he's
live.
Brilliant. He's great.
Oh, and it was hilarious because he took his laptop or tablet or his phone, and he was going to take us. He wanted to introduce the family, and they didn't know that was going to happen. So they're sitting on the furniture, they're sitting on the recliners, they're whatever. And as he's coming in, it says, because he was in one of those rooms that the audience said looked fantastic. I mean, it looked great. But I guess, his mom thought it wasn't the best room in the house. There's one room in the house that isn't the best room. It's sort of like the guest room, or it's just this room on site. So he did the show from there. All these viewers, the Lovities, said the room looked awesome. Nothing wrong with it. So then he said, well, let me show you the rest of the house. And it was hilarious because as they were watching the show on their TV or on their computers live while he was in the other room doing the show. And they heard him coming and saying that he was going to come to introduce the rest of the family. And all you heard was screaming and yelling, no, get away, stop, no,
That sounds like it would be the same here. And everybody just runs in mad directions whenever I do one of these things.
Stop it, no, stop it.
When can we make noise again?
It was like raccoons. You just heard them all scurrying and running and hiding and ducking and slamming doors. It
Brilliant.
Was
love it. I love it.
It was funny. I love that. And cool stuff. We have another one too. Let's see. Let's see which one we should play next. We got a really cool one here. Is it Kevin Girl?
Oh, Cabin Girl. Yeah, that's a beautiful song. It's probably not as well known as it should be as regards part of the Irish Ballad Songbook, but beautiful, beautiful piece of music. We did it on the Memory Lane album, which was our second album about 10 years ago, and it got played a lot over here. And it's a song that I don't sing very often, but I did it for my friend Joey, who sadly lost his mom, and he's from Cavan. And I did it as a little tribute to her and for him and his family. And I put it out there, and it was well received again. But it's a beautiful number and lovely story.
Perfect. We're going to share that with our audience right now. And again, it's Cabin Girl. And here we go. Here's more of Darren Holden here for you guys on the Jim Masters Show Live. Great version, too. You'll enjoy it.
Thank you. as I walk the road from Kilimanjaro, weary eyes at time. For it's 12 long miles around the lake to get to Cavan Town. Though there and the road I go, one seemed beyond compare. Now I curse the time it takes to reach my Cavan girl so fair. The autumn shades are on the leaves, the trees will soon be bare. Each red-coat leaf around me seems the colour of her hair. My gaze retreats, defies my feet, and once again I sigh at the broken pool of sky reminds the colour of her eye. At the Cavan Cross each Sunday morning, where she can be found, and she seems to have the eye of every boy in Cavan Town. If my luck will hold, I'll have the golden summer of her smile, and to break the hearts of Cavan men, she'll talk to me a while. So next Sunday evening finds me homeward, Kilimanjaro bound, to work the week till I return to court in Cavan Town. When asked if she would be my bride, at least she'd not said no. So next Sunday morning I'll rouse myself, and back to her I'll go. So next Sunday morning I'll rouse myself, and back to her I'll go.
Really nice, my friend. You knocked that out of the park. And one of the cool things is, and we've talked about this a lot on our show, is when people go all in, when they really sort of take on the work that they do and they share it in such a glorious way. You do that. When you sing, you are all in with the song. You really absorb the meaning. You understand the message of the song. And of course, you're a great musician as well. So the melodic element and essences that are brought in just cap it all off. But you really, I don't know if it's an Irish thing, how we feel things, we wear our hearts on our sleeves, whatever it may be, but you really, and I've noticed that in watching you all these years, since we've known each other all these years in various forms, whether it's on stage or television or just performing as a solo artist, as much as you do with the High Kings, you really do get so involved in the material. And I think that's one of the reasons, and you make it so relatable, my friend. And I think that's one of the reasons why so many people say all these great comments and have followed you all these years in these various incarnations and different things that you've done. You've never stayed as just one thing. You've always expanded. You've always tried new things, while still staying true to form and authentic to who you are and the things that you believe in. And you can get that through the presentation of the songs and through your performance.
Jeez, thank you so much, Jim. I mean, I appreciate that so much. It's really nice to hear that. Thank you. I guess, you know, when it comes to songs like that, or some of the other songs I do in the High Kings now, like the Town I Love So Well, is another one that's a story song. Obviously, it's a very, very hard, poignant, beautiful song. I think the way I apply that now to the songs I'm doing with the High Kings is it goes back again to the moving out thing. And I think Billy Joel came to see me on my second performance on Broadway, and I went out with him afterwards for lunch or for dinner or whatever it was. And I said, look, well, have you got anything to tell me? Is anything I'm doing wrong? And he was like, no, you're not doing anything wrong so much. He said, but he said, you're singing it really well and you're playing it really well. He said, but at the moment, I don't believe you're living it, you know. And what I was doing, it was a very hard hitting story moving out. It was set over 2 decades from the 1960s to the 1980s. And it took in like the happy-go-lucky years and going into the Vietnam War and the aftermath of the war and the drug culture of the 70s and, you know, coming out of it somehow on the other end. I want you to believe that you are there, he said, during every time period that I have you singing in. I've got to see that in your face and I've got to hear that in your performance and in the storytelling. And I think that stayed with me from that day to now. You know, I don't think it's like if somebody writes a song for the High Kings, I think the best thing, and it's only natural that you can put every bit of your heart and soul and spirit into it when they've given you lyrics and beautiful music, and you've got to do the best you can with a song, you know. And it's the same when I write a song and somebody else sings it. It's such a lovely feeling to hear them put their own stamp on it and tell a story if the story's there to be told. But again, thank you so much for those lovely words. I really appreciate that.
My pleasure. My pleasure. We have another one here too. And yes, you have the guitar sitting there. We're going to have you perform live as well. Now this one here, this is Rose of Mooncoin. Is that?
That's my village. That's the
tell us
anthem of
about
my
that
little
one.
village I was born and brought up in Mooncoin in South Kilkenny. Well, it's not so tiny a village anymore. It's sort of turning into a little town now. But I left there about 22, 23 years ago. But I had a great growing up there, and that song was sang at every hurling match, every football match, every gathering in the pub or the church or the parochial hall, at, you know, whatever. It was our anthem, and it was a beautiful story about a man who was in love with a girl who was considered to be way too young for him, and her father forbid them being together, and she loved the guy, but they were forbidden from being together, and she was sent away, so that there would be no chance of them marrying. And I think the song was a lament from his broken heart, and it's just a very, very poignant song, very beautiful song, and it's lovely versions of it by some of our great balladeers. But it's probably one of my favorite songs, and even though it is our anthem, I just love it so much.
Let's share that with our viewers watching all around the world. And again, we thank everybody for joining us. If this is the first time you're joining us, we're here every day live with the Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series, which is very interactive, international. And again, I started this some 40 weeks ago. And Darren, you know how busy I always am. So people say, are you crazy? You added this show to your repertoire of crazy, busy stuff. How do you do that?
I know, but that's what you do. That's what you do. You know what I mean? It's just part of your DNA. You know, It's hard for us to say no. That's the thing.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And we got to create. We like to create and be connected with people as much as we can and inspire them, which I think is a really important thing.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
we'll talk about this too when we come back, talk about the new album coming and the new High King Paul. We'll talk about that coming up as well. And yes, the Irish are known for being amazing storytellers. I would agree with that. We sure are. And we are very funny, too. We've got a quick wit, a dry, quick wit.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, I've got to. And I love my mashed potatoes. So
my parents brought me potatoes today. That's how Irish we are. My parents gifted me. Yeah, hang on one sec. Watch this.
That's your stocking stuffer, potatoes. There they are.
That's how Irish we are.
And they actually say traditional Irish potatoes. So how do they taste different than what you've had probably over here in the States? What makes traditional Irish potatoes different?
I just lost you again. Sorry, I just lost what you just said there.
How do they traditional Irish potatoes taste different for you than potatoes you've had here in the States? Do you notice any difference?
I'm so sorry, Jim. You sound like a robot, but I'm going to just presume you asked me something about potatoes there.
Yes, I did. Yes.
Well, it's I don't know. Isn't it just an Irish thing? Everybody like always. Every meal that we have, every
Yeah.
major meal is it's got to be centered around potatoes and
Yes.
cabbage. Sometimes my
Me too.
youngest daughter, Sophie, she's the only one outside of myself in our household who eats cabbage and Brussels sprouts. So she gets all of her tastes from myself. My wife wouldn't touch that stuff. She would run away from it, you know. And she's adventurous, but when it comes to cabbage and Brussels sprouts, no way. But potatoes, we love, you know. And my dad, you see, my dad is well known around the village, and he walks every day for a long, about 4 or 5 miles every day, even though he's
Nice.
83. And the local farmers, they know him so well that when they'd ask him when he's going to be walking back past the farm again, so they always gift him potatoes, and he calls me going, "Do you need potatoes?"
You need
So
potatoes.
yeah, my dad just you see him walking around the streets with bags of spuds, as we call them. So he's again the quintessential Irish man, you know.
So, what is it? What do you think is different about traditional Irish potatoes versus the potatoes you've had here in the States? Is there a flavor difference? Any difference?
You know what? It's a hard one. It's probably a flavor difference. It's more, I want to say organic here.
Yeah.
You know, there's more of a real sort of taste. Again, it's sort of like the whole argument with Guinness. What's the difference with Guinness here and Guinness in the States? Like in the States, a lot of the times when you see Guinness, you notice that it's not being pulled right, and you just want to go behind the bar and go, "Can I please show you how to pull a pint of Guinness?" So I'm not sure if I don't know what it is with the potatoes, but everywhere has its own taste and everywhere has its own take on potatoes. But look, if you're hungry enough, you'll eat it if it's put in front of you. That's all what I always say.
That's right. And it's saying potatoes as opposed to potatoes. That makes the big difference too.
True, true.
We've got great comments coming in. Nan says Irish potatoes are more earthy to me. And Carol says, love cabbage and sprouts. I must have some Irish in me. Patricia says, yes, they taste different, very good. Spuds, Bernadette says, Leslie Cummings, good to see you watching, Leslie. Welcome to our show. I'm happy you could finally see your parents. That was a blessing to be able to see them, right? Your parents after what, 4 months you couldn't see your parents? Yeah. So that's can you hear us now, Darren?
I can, yeah. It just seems to be sort of buffering quite a bit, but I've got you again. Yeah.
So Leslie says she's happy that you could finally see your parents.
Thank you, Leslie. I was reading some of the comments there. I couldn't hear you, but I could see some of the comments. So guys, thank you so much. I'm really proud of my friend Dave. Dave is a neighbor of mine as well, and he's staying the course here. This is really, really good. I'm going to have to reward him. He's on again. Look, he wrote a song about potatoes.
Write a song about potatoes.
Dave actually writes funny songs. Dave is he's the most happy, positive person I know, and he's a great friend of mine, great guy to have around me at certain times, you know what I mean? But he's a funny guy. We got through lockdown. We're blessed. There's literally 100 yards down the road. There's a gigantic park, you know, and there's lovely lakes and there's everything. And Dave and I have been walking and cycling throughout the summer, but we keep each other going. He is the funniest guy in the world. He's got the quirkiest sense of humor. But he got me to write a song earlier on this year about a work friend of his who was leaving the company. And he's brilliant with lyrics. I'm trying to get him to write some more lyrics. He's a really sort of quirky, unique take on how to write a song, particularly Irish songs. And he's learning the baron as well. And he just sends me videos of him playing the baron and doing these great songs. So he's a really, really good guy. Everybody should know a Dave. That's what I always say.
Really cool, really cool. Now we're going to go to that song that we have queued up here, Rose of Mooncoin, because that really is a great version. Enjoy that, everybody. And again, Darren has that great connection to that song, so it's very special for him, and I know it's going to be special for all of you as well. And here it is.
Can again. Sorry. I've lost you again, Jim.
How sweet 'tis to roam by the sunny shoe stream and to hear the dove coo 'neath the morning sunbeam where the thrush and the robin their sweet notes entwine on the banks of the shore that flows down by Mooncoin. Flow on, lovely river, flow gently along by your waters so sweet. Sounds the lark's merry song on a green banks. I wonder where first I did join with you, lovely Molly, the rose of Mooncoin. Oh, Molly, dear Molly, it breaks my fond heart to know that we two forever must part. But I'll think of you, Molly, while sun and moon shine on the banks of the shore that flows down by Mooncoin. Flow on, lovely river, flow gently along by your waters so sweet. Sounds the lark's merry song on your green banks. I wonder where first I did join with you, lovely Molly, the rose of Mooncoin. She has sailed far away o'er the dark rolling home, far away from the hills of the dear Irish home, where the fishermen play with their boat net and line on the banks of the shore that flows down by Mooncoin. Flow on, lovely river, flow gently along by your waters so sweet. Sounds the lark's merry song on your green banks. I wonder where first I did join with you, lovely Molly, the rose of Mooncoin. With you, lovely Molly, the rose of Mooncoin.
Really nice, my friend. I love watching when the guests watch themselves, because it's like you're almost reliving what you're doing, whether you're on stage or at home or whatever it may be. And that's really, really cool. Bernadette here watching, one of our lovely viewers, regular, says she was swaying and humming along with that song, loves it so much. And that's a cool thing when you get the participation of the audience as well. Juanita in South Africa says, lovely, clap, clap, clap. And Bernadette says, that is awesome, David. You're blessed to have him as a friend. David says, Jim, Darren inspired me to play the violin guitar and write songs just for fun. He taught me that everyone should try it and find their own level. I owe him so much. That's what it's about. I agree. Inspiring and mentoring others. You love doing that too, don't you, Darren?
Yeah, I think there's musical talent in everybody. It's just you know, for many people it remains hidden and something that they don't aspire to, but it's there. You know, we're all born with rhythm of some description and talent of some description. It's just a case of each individual personality deciding if it's a path they want to take or if it's something they want to delve into. But I think there's music in everybody. Even if they don't hear it themselves, other people can hear it in them.
Right, exactly. And sometimes they just need that little boost, right? They need that little encouragement. I mean, I'm sure you've had people over the years that have inspired you? Like, I mean, some of the things that you said that Billy Joel told you, I think you really paid heed to it, and whatever tweaking or adjustments that he said would be helpful suggestions, you absorbed
Yeah.
and sort of fine-tuned as a result of all people, Billy Joel telling you this, huh?
Yeah, and it all it takes is a few seconds for somebody like him to pass on some knowledge like that, or pass on a bit of advice like that, and it lasts a lifetime. But I honestly am a firm believer that the day you believe you have nothing to learn is the day you're going to go downhill immediately. I think every day, particularly in our business, there's always somebody you can watch and listen to and take away something from them. Again, like this year, I finally gave in and got on Spotify. I was again back to the whole old school argument where I want my vinyl or my CDs or whatever it is. I finally
Analog
gave in.
versus digital.
Yeah, but I was out on my bike most days this summer, and I just kind of thought, I'm just going to do the Spotify thing and see how I get on. I must have discovered 100 new artists that I'd never heard of before. I wouldn't have known about them before, and it was brilliant. It was a huge learning experience, and it was a huge writing experience. I mean, I've written more songs this year than I have written in my entire 30-year career up to now. Songs that wouldn't have been written if I hadn't heard a specific artist that I had never heard before. So that's what I mean. If tomorrow I get up, I might hear something new, and it'll inspire me to kind of try some new approach to writing. Or it's just the life lesson that the wheel keeps turning all the time, and you got to take from it what you will, and you got to mold it into what you do.
I mean, it's incredible because if you think about the things you've done thus far and the fact that you're still taking on new projects, new ideas, and expanding, like you say, digital, and understanding that and really diving into that head first as well. That means you're always open to new things, not necessarily getting rid of your, old school sensibilities. I think that's another thing I think you and I are kindred spirits about. I'm very old school in many ways. But also will allow myself, and that's the key. You have to allow yourself to open up to take on some of these other new things that are right there in front of us.
Yeah.
Because the fear is that, if I'm going to sign up for that, then I'm going to be, sort of pushing aside all these things that I believed in and thought and did. So you don't want to turn that away just for the new fad of today. But so you sort of just, you feel it out in those things that are happening that you think work for you and speak to your soul and, help you master your craft even further are the things you'll add into what you already do and who you already are. Right, Darren?
Absolutely. Exactly. I mean, that's the whole thing. I mean, and again, it kind of goes back to, taking positives from the tough year we've had. What are we going to do? I can't get out on the road. I can't perform. I can't do what I do for a living. So what am I going to do to get myself through this, but remaining true to what I do as being a musician? So one of the things that I have put on the long finger for decades is learning how to record, on my MacBook or setting up my studio. I've always found an excuse to not do it. And, I'll get to it next week or next month. And it never happens. So I just delved into that this year and found that through trial and error and making the mistakes, I finally figured out how to do it. Because if you put a manual in front of me with anything, whether it's a studio or a lawnmower or whatever, I won't read it and know what to do. It just doesn't work for me like that. So it's all about making mistakes. But long story short, about 3 weeks ago, I released, for the first time in my career, I released a single. I did a version of Silent Night, put it on Spotify, put it on iTunes. From the very first note to the very last time I pressed send to the company to release it, it was everything here. It was me. I didn't give it to anybody else to do it. I didn't ask anybody else to play on it. All the voices are me. All the instruments are me. And only through having to do something like that came about. And it was an unbelievable thing. I know it's nothing in the bigger scheme of things to anybody, but to me, it was the most gigantic step I could take. You know what I mean? And somebody called me the other day, and I was in my car, and they said, turn on one of the stations here in Dublin, and I turned it on, and there it was on the radio. And I'm like, I laughed because people were, would think automatically I went to a recording studio. I didn't. I went upstairs to do the whole thing, and it was absolutely crazy. It's getting played on the radio, and it's doing really well, and it's opened up a whole other world for me. So, that's just one of the chances I had to take, and you can apply that to anything, whatever people who are watching what they do for a living. If you need to take a chance, just take the chance, because life's too short.
Absolutely. Sitting here bursting with pride that I know this man and can call him a friend, a genuine, kind man who can literally sing about anything and sing it well. That's what we're all about on this show, Carol. Kindness and empathy. And we've had these conversations in the show that the good and the kind are not the weak. If a lot of times people that are good, people that are kind, people that are nice, people that are friendly are always regulated as the people who are the weak, that you've got to not show any of that and not be any of that. Well, look where the world has gone as a result of a lot of that happening. Yeah. I think, and I've always said that the people who actually show more kindness, who actually help, who actually, show who they are and step up to the plate are the strongest people, because they take on not only dealing with their own things in life they got to deal with, but they also take on other people's problems and issues and concerns, and they take those on and they try to help them with that as well. So I think the people who are like all these comments that these viewers are saying, kind and gentleman and empathetic and friendly and all of that, I think that's really a cool thing. And I think with everything that's been going on this last year, that a lot more of that's going to be rising to the surface, rising from the ashes of all the chaos of everything that's happened this year. Because everybody was saying, where's all the nice people? Where's all the friendly people? Where are the people that say please and thank you and have a nice day? Everybody was complaining that everybody was arguing, divisive. There's all these road rage and all the stuff that's going on in our societies. Yeah. And where's all the nice people? Nobody said, well, now we've had all this happen. And I've said it on the air several times. I think this was a mutual meeting of the divine, Mother Nature, and the earth coming together and saying, you know what, man, you people, you humans are screwing this up. We gave you life. We gave you this planet. We gave you beauty. We gave you some really good things to work with. And look at all this, the shootings and road rage and arguing and everybody, the hatred that's happening. So we're going to throw in a pandemic. We're going to throw in an economic situation. We're going to have civil unrest. We're going to throw in elections, all these things, and we're going to do it all at once, and it's going to be a global situation. So let's see how, and we're going to do it all in the same year, and we're going to do it at the beginning of a new decade, which is usually something very hopeful. I mean, 2020, I love the sound of 2020. It sounds really cool, but what a year it's become. And I think that the divine Mother Nature and the earth got together and said, stop, everybody stop, enough. Now we're going to throw some heavy things your way, people. And what are you going to do with it? So we've seen the worst of the worst. We've seen the best of the best. And hopefully we'll rise from the ashes with some of these comments, what the viewers are saying, really kinder. And, and that's not a weakness. That's actually a strength.
It is. Listen, you should bottle what you just said there and put it out to the world, because nobody could say that better than what you just did. I mean, it's totally true. Anybody who didn't learn anything from this year, you're never going to learn it at all now, because if ever there was a time to learn and become a better version of yourself, or learn something from what's going on in the world or around you or near you or a million miles away from you, if you can't see that everything needed to just stop and reboot and start again, then you're beyond saving. But I think there's a lot of good coming out of this as well, even though we're still looking at horrendous images and things and hearing about the worst kinds of stories and heartbreak. And every day people, as I said earlier on, people are losing loved ones through no fault of their own, through something that we don't know where this thing came out of. Let's not, try and speculate, I suppose. But there has been some great stories, and you see it on, if you go look for it, you can find it, a lot of, particularly in say what we do in the arts and the entertainment industry, people have really come together, and we do anyway. We do come together when people need things, or when there's a crisis. Music has always been a place of healing that you go to, but it's 100-fold this year. And some great new music has come about, some great collaborations come about, and sometimes when you're lost, music is the only way to kind of bring you back home again. But there are, I think the world's heart was broken, and I think it will need time to heal. But we've all got to work at that. We all have our bad days. None of us are, invincible. None of us are perfect. But I think collectively, if more and more people start to figure out that, it needs to happen and we need to heal and we need to bond and fix, then I think it'll be better going forward. It won't be anytime soon, but it'll be sooner than maybe we would have done had this not happened.
Exactly right. Exactly. And it's going to take time, even with some of the medical developments that have happened, which are very promising. It's going to take time. And the key is we need to be in all of this together. We've got to
Yeah.
be, and that's sort of a mentality that needs to be. I don't know. I'm a Libra, so I'm balance and harmony. So I've never been somebody who's extreme over here or extreme over there. I'm always looking for ways to bring us all to the table and bring people together, no matter what the topic, whether it's in personal relationships, with friends, in my career, with colleagues, or just in life, with anything I do. I'm always looking for ways to find that balance and harmony for the greater good of all of us. And
Yeah.
this year has been really an amazing, world or year to have to continue to do that. I tell people I should have been born on Venus, the planet of love. And they're like, no, because if we didn't have, Libras here, this place would implode.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Absolutely. Absolutely. I
It's,
mean, yeah, I mean, you said it in a nutshell again. I can't even attempt to better what you're saying there, because you're just completely, cementing it and labeling it as best as it can be said. So fair play to you, Jim. I mean, but again, it's all about putting it out there too. It's like the likes of what we're doing now. You're thousands of miles away from me, but we're, doing this together, and people are tuning in and getting good positive vibes from it. So it's all about the connecting and connectivity of everything, and putting good out there rather than bad. Bad will dissolve in the end anyway. It won't rise. The best will rise. The healing will.
absolutely right. How has what's gone on this year changed you or your music, or just the way that you're looking at life going forward, my friend?
Yeah, definitely has changed everything really. Because I keep saying, God, the amount of things I take for granted, the amount of things we all take for granted. Like I haven't stopped for a number of years, working nonstop, touring and meeting people, and that's what I do. So I love it. But you really have to, when you're hit with something like this, it's like a roadblock, and you've got to figure your way around it or over it or something. But definitely music, I've become more involved in how I write music, how I perform music, why I do it, writing better songs. I think personally I've written some really, really good songs this year. And I want to go back. I did know somebody a little while back asked about Paul, our new member in the High Kings. So speaking of writing, I want to say that without Paul being a member of this band now, I wouldn't have written probably 50% of the new material I've written. He has been a blessing to me personally, and a blessing to me in the band and to the other guys as well. His musicality is astonishing, and we continuously learn from this guy. He's just a really, really great, genuine, brilliant person, let alone great musician. And him and I have some gems that we've got stashed away for a rainy day. We've just got to wait for that rainy day and that project. But there's at least 15 really, really, really great songs that we have come out of lockdown together with. So I'm very, 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 very pleased with that, Jim.
You heard it here first. Another world premiere exclusive of the Jim Masters Show Live. There's more music coming from the High Kings and from Darren, Paul, and the entire gang. And that's really exciting, my friend. I got a couple more photos, and I know you've got that beautiful guitar patiently sitting there on your lap. I'm going to have you show that guitar in just a second, but some more cool photos and more music coming up. Tell us about this photo. Now, where was this? This is cool. You know where that one was, Darren? That photo?
I'm losing you again, Jim. I'm so sorry.
No, that's all right. It's just
Got you.
Fantastic. Does your phone need charging? Are you good?
No, I'm actually charging it right now. Yeah, believe
Oh,
it or
good.
not.
So you got the cord. Excellent.
I've got the
Excellent.
cord. Yeah.
Where was this taken? This cool shot.
This was in what we call the Board Gosh Energy Theatre here in Dublin. That's at the centenary celebration. The 1916 Rising in 2016, it was celebrating 100 years, or commemorating 100 years. And this was a performance during an event that was absolutely monumental. And it was an amazingly magic, unique event put together by our national TV station, RTE, attended by President Higgins, our President of Ireland. And we performed School Days Over by Ewan McCall, actually. It was an absolutely amazing piece of music to be part of, and a very poignant moment as well to mark 100 years. So we were very happy to be involved.
Look at this shot.
That is with the Moving Out band. That was one of the promo shots for, I think we did a special on CBS one time, and that was the promo shot. That's all the guys that I worked with in the band, and I was the piano man. So those guys were what kept me going during those 4 years, and they're all great friends. You know, I've written songs with some of these guys, and I've worked online with them as well ever since that show. You know, and those guys made me want to be a better musician. You know, you were working with the best of the best, the creme de la creme of New York session musicians. So thrown in at the deep end with them, but they were all willing to show me and teach me, and I'm forever grateful to those boys.
That's a really cool shot. How about this one?
Oh, look at that. That's Riverdance
Yeah.
on Broadway. That's
Yeah.
Riverdance on Broadway. And in that shot, you'll have both myself and Brian from the High Kings in there. That was on Broadway in the Gershwin Theatre, probably the first week of shows. And it was like we did 18 months of that. I'll tell you a very funny story about that. One of the first previews we did, we were walking out, like the first number of Riverdance is really hot and heavy and hard, and it's all music and lights and razzmatazz, and then everything stops and the lights go down totally, and we walk out on stage, the singers, with complete darkness and candles, and we just sing with voices a cappella.
Yeah.
And I tripped over something, and I dropped my candle, and it went out, and I picked it up, but my candle was out, and I was so nervous because the reviewers were in for the New York Times. And I could not stop shaking, Jim. I swear to God, you could actually hear me rattling on stage, and all the other singers were trying not to laugh. I was just, sweat was pouring off me. And I had a hang up with that candle for the next 18 months. I'm not joking. It was, I could not stop. Every time I went out on stage, I was convinced I was about to trip or fall. So when I left Riverdance, that was the only thing that I was happy about leaving behind. You know,
What a story. What good, in a way, it's kind of good that the candle went out and didn't, catch your pants on fire. Or, it could have been quite another way of saying you light up my life for sure.
I'll tell you, there was some funny things. I have no problem telling you these things. A lot of people, sometimes you'd be thinking, oh, I won't tell the story. But if you look on YouTube, there's I was the lead vocalist after Brian Kennedy for a little while, and there's a song called "At the Edge of the World." You can find it on YouTube. Just put in my name and "At the Edge of the World." It's Riverdance on Broadway. But the first time I did it, you have to about 15 steps, and I've got my back to the audience when these big double doors open, and I'm looking out into the sunset. But I was wearing this long cloak that was designed for Brian Kennedy, and he's taller than I am. And I have to be really kind of mysterious and poignant. And I turned around, and I went to walk down the stairs, and I slipped on the first 3 steps because I got my heel caught on the bottom of this big velvet cloak. And again, it was just one of those things where I managed to stay on my feet. But yeah, I have nightmares about that still when I think about it. When I see it, I just always laugh. But it's on YouTube if you look for it. It's called "At the Edge of the World." Not that particular performance, thank God, but another performance of it without the cloak. We dropped the cloak after that because didn't want to take any more chances with me. Yeah.
I like this shot too, Darren.
Do you know the lady that was designed by a lady called Diane, who was from San Diego, who became a fan of Moving Out. And she was a huge fan of Billy Joel, and she used to follow me all over California when I perform, and really nice lady. And she designed this for me and sent it to my agent in New York. But I hadn't heard from this lady in a long, long time. And sadly, again, this year. She passed away at a very, very young age. I'm not sure, was it any way related to what's going on now, but she'll be very badly missed. She was a lovely, lovely girl who kept in contact, and I hadn't heard from her in a while, so maybe she was ill, but God bless her. She gave me that beautiful gift, and it was sort of a stained glass sort of vibe, and it was in the office in New York for a long time. But again, these are just nice little things you get from people, and they're really amazing to see, you know.
Yes, people, I've known that in my career as well, in television, radio, and all that. Sometimes there are people out there who are very moved and they're inspired by the work that I do and you do. That is work that we have to do. This is work that's in us, and we love this work so much that we have to do it. And it's so beautiful when you hear from people who are consumers of what we put out there, the energy, the talent, whatever it is we do in our individual lives with being in the creative arts. And when you get that feedback and you get letters from people saying, how this particular thing you said or you did or you sang was so important for me. It got me through a rough day, a rough time in my life, or it was joyful, or that's the stuff that really makes you continue and continue through all of the chaos and the frustration and the long hours and the blood, sweat, and tears and the travel and the sacrifices and all the things that have to be a part of the package of being able to do the stuff we do that looks so natural and easy and effortless all the time. But behind the scenes, it's anything but easy and effortless. I mean, it might be effortless in terms of where it comes naturally for me to do this kind of work and naturally for you to do the work that you do. But still, with all the other pieces of the puzzle that have to fit perfectly for all of these things to happen, and all the sacrifice, blood, sweat, and tears that come along with that, I think it's really beautiful when people see that, they respond to that, and then they let you know that they're moved by it. Because a lot of times they always say, well, you're going to always hear negative first from people before you ever hear positive. More people that don't like something are more vocal about it than the people who are positive. The people that are positive just sit there and enjoy it and don't think anything of it. But then when you hear from positive people, no matter what it is you're doing in life, it really sort of is the icing on the cake, isn't it?
100%. I couldn't agree more with that. And like you're just saying, go back to what you're saying. It's like what we do. But some days it's when you're on the road for months at a time on these massive tours or whatever, again, it goes back to us all being just human beings. You're going to have moments where you're going to get tired, or you're going to get a little cranky maybe, or whatever. And all it takes is one moment, one solitary thing that's like a bit of generosity from somebody who comes to see the show. They might bring you a gift that's heartfelt, that was made and given from the heart, And I've been blessed, particularly in America, to make so many great friends who keep life on the road. When you're missing your loved ones, it keeps it bearable, and it keeps you, realizing that, you're blessed to do what you do. And you can meet so many great people on the road. I've made some great friendships. I mean, Carl in the UK, who does so much for me, and like Lindy from Kentucky, who is an incredibly generous person. Her and her husband Barry have been wonderful to me. Really great friends. Russ and Sue, who come along to all the shows. A lady called Suzanne on the East Coast in America, who comes along, and every time she comes to a show, she brings tons and tons and tons of homemade food for us, and it's absolutely incredible. And the Brock family in Texas, Norma and dear departed Charlie, great friends, make life on the road so great. But you learn from these people. My point is, these are the people that you take away lessons from them on how to be kind, have to have empathy, how to just treat other people, and they've become my road family, and the guys in the band as well. When we see certain people, we're just it makes it so much easier to be away from home and to be not to miss your loved one, because a lot of people come and they know that we're away from home. They know I've got 3 kids and a wife here, and so they genuinely come with the thought of giving me something from their home to make it a bit better. And it's a gorgeous thing, you know, it really is. And I love it, you know, and fans in Germany as well. I've a couple of, I hate to say fans because they're fans/friends now. They sent 2 huge boxes from Germany a couple of weeks ago with gifts for my kids and for Michelle and for me and for the guys. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
you gotta learn from this. It's just brilliant, you know.
Yeah, yeah. I've had similar situations too. Willie in the Netherlands sent me on my birthday a couple of pounds of those Dutch stroopwafels from Holland.
Yeah,
You ever
absolutely.
have
Yeah,
stroopwafels? They're very good. They're supposed to have lasted a lot longer, but they didn't. And another one, she in Florida baked all these 24 cookies. People have been sending me their cookbooks, and it's just, it's absolutely beautiful, and it's very touching. And I think
yeah.
it's really beautiful when you have that happen. And it just, like I said, it just adds to everything that we do. Here's another shot here. Look at this.
Oh my God,
Wow.
and where'd you find that?
Oh, we are, you know, the journalist background in me did some digging.
Jim, I'm having a little audio issues again here. I can see what you're doing, but I can't hear you very well. Sorry.
So
Um,
you hear every third word? It's probably the
I'll
iPhone.
tell
Yeah.
you about that. That picture was actually
Yes.
taken in 1994. We have a competition in Europe called the Eurovision Song Contest.
Yes.
And that was the national Irish song contest to get into the Eurovision. And I had come second in 2 attempts to make it to the Eurovision Song Contest, which was heartbreaking at the time, but
Mm.
you know, great experience to be part of. And that was my band there. Throughout the 90s, I toured with those guys all over the UK and Ireland and Europe. And again, great friends of mine. My band was called Darren Holden and Wanted. And everybody used to joke that we really were wanted, you know. We had a lot of fun on the road. We had some great times. But those guys are still friends with me. And oh, there's Mr. Coulter. Yeah.
Bill Coulter. That's right. And you've worked with him, and who also is there in between you guys?
Yeah, Phil is just an amazing guy. He's
Yeah.
become
Yeah.
a really great friend of mine, and I was supposed to go down to him a few times over lockdown, never got a chance, but we're hoping to work with Phil in the future again because he's a
Yeah.
huge advocate and fan of the band. And
He
but I
is.
just get on so well with him. Like Phil will phone me up sometimes, and we'll just shoot the breeze and talk about anything. He talks about Manchester United, and we'll just talk about the industry, and he'll tell me some great stories. Some of the stories are known, some of the stories are not known, and it's really great to talk to a man like him because he's an incredibly brilliant man, a brilliant musician, and obviously his success is astonishing and astounding. I mean, writing for Elvis and Cliff Richard and all the great bands, and he had major success, of course, with bands like the Bay City Rollers back in the 70s. He's written so many different genres of music and continues to do so. And no airs and graces, no ego. He's just a really genuinely brilliant man. And I have a great time for him. I consider him a really good friend.
He's amazing, isn't he? We had him as a guest a couple of weeks ago on the show, and he was nothing shy of brilliant. He really is
He's amazing. Yeah, he's a wonderful guy. And a very funny man. Very funny.
Yes.
He's got like the driest wit, you know, he'd cut you in two just for a bit of fun. But he's very funny. I love him.
Look at this shot.
That was on stage the very first and only time a couple of years back that the High Kings played in my village of Mooncoin. That's at the sports center, and that was the lady who organized the show, Lucy Quinn. She's a lovely lady that I've known my entire life, and she wanted to make it special for me. So at the end of the show, the local hurling team had signed that jersey and framed it and presented it to me on my returning back home for that one night only, and I have it here in the house. It was just a very emotional moment because I hurled for Mooncoin, my brothers did, and my dad hurled for Mooncoin, and he hurled for Kilkenny as well. So hurling is a big part of our life, and they Lucy and her husband Ned, who are great friends of mine, they used to look after me when I was with the club. That is Frida Kelly, and for those who don't know who Frida Kelly is, Frida is one of my dearest friends, and Frida was the fan club secretary for the Beatles.
Wow,
Uh,
I didn't know that.
yeah,
Wow.
she worked with the Beatles throughout their initial 10 years, and a little while afterwards, she worked for John. Frida comes to Ireland every single Easter, bar this Easter. Her niece lives very very close to me here, so I've been down to the house, and I've taken every time she comes over, I take her for dinner or for lunch, and we catch up, and we have a right chat, and she tells me some great stories. But there's a great documentary, if any of your listeners are Beatles fans. There's a great documentary that came out about 4 years ago. It's called Good Old Frida, because that's what the Beatles called her. John Lennon was asked about her one time, and he said, "Oh, good old Frida," and so that stuck. And she was at all the film festivals a few years back. I just spoke to her a few days ago. I call her every now and again, and just to keep tabs with her and see how she's doing.
And how do you usually start it when you see her coming towards you? Do you start singing, "Here comes
Yeah,
the sun"?
she's an amazing woman. And again, very witty, and the perks of sitting down with somebody like her. She's more
Oh,
interested in what I do, but the perks of sitting down and the things you learn, and
mm,
she told me some really inside stories. You feel privileged because I'm a huge Beatles fan.
yeah.
You hear some of the stories that nobody knows about, and you're like, oh God, I'd love to tell somebody, but of course you can't because you're privileged to be hearing it in the first place. But yeah, she's a lovely, lovely lady.
We have some more photos here, but I'd love to share some more music with our lovities here. Tell it, what would you like to sing for us right now, your first song? And tell us about that beautiful guitar you have sitting on your
Well,
lap there.
I'll tell you about the guitar first. This is a beautiful guitar. It's the Emerald Artisan. And it was gifted to me by a company in Donegal called Emerald Guitars. About 4 years ago, I happened to make a comment online saying I seen one of their guitars on Facebook, and I commented to say, "My God, one of these days I'll have one of those." And they got in contact with me. They found out my birthday was coming up, and they came to a show in County Donegal, which is where the company is based in Letterkenny, and they gifted me this beautiful carbon fiber acoustic guitar, and I absolutely love it. And it's emeraldguitars.ie if anybody wants to go on there and look up. Alistair is the manager and the owner, and he's an amazing craftsman. He's got an amazing staff. Brona is, I think, is a lady who works there as well. They're fantastic, and they're really good to me. But what I'll do now is, I was having a few audio issues there again, Jim. I'm really sorry. I hope you guys can hear me properly here.
Sounds good
I
so
will
far.
do a version of the High Kings released a song last year. It's to the tune of Red is the Rose, but it's called Christmas the Way I Remember. And we were finishing a tour in October last year in America. And on the way to the airport, I was just in a world of my own, as I do when I'm on the tour bus, looking out the window. And by the time I got from the hotel to the airport, I had rewritten Red is the Rose, and we released this as our High Kings Christmas single last year. And it went to #1 here, which was amazing. And it got into the top 20 in the UK, which was even better. And so I'll do it for you now. It's called Christmas the Way I Remember. And I hope you guys like it. And like, as I said, I hope there's no audio issues. So. Snows on the hills fill my heart with winter chills. Christmas is once again found me. Dreams of my childhood and presents around the tree. Family and friends all around me. I'm coming home, back to the place I love. I'm coming home this December. Oh, songs in cheer with the ones that I hold dear. Christmas the way I remember. Lights all aglow and twinkling everywhere. Children with joy on their faces. Choirs sing old carols in each town and village square. Friends love. I'm coming home this December. Hold something cheer with the ones that I hold dear. Christmas the way I remember. Old photographs make me long for Christmas Eve. Everyone back home together. These are the moments I really do believe. Love lasts forever and ever. I'm coming home back to the place I love. I'm coming home this December. Hold something cheer with the ones that I hold dear. Christmas the way I remember. Christmas the way I remember.
That's a beautiful song, my friend, and lots of great comments coming in here. Juanita says, absolutely beautiful. And Donna says, love this. Carol says, love this. Cheryl says, a wonderful Christmas song, love it. Lots of Irish hearts coming from Bernadette and Sherry Schoenline as well. Jennifer Barry in Allentown, Pennsylvania, USA, saying, me dancing and playing me tambourine in me living room now. Thank you, Jim and Darren Slancha. And M. Schmidt says, love to sing this one. Leslie Cummings says, I love this song. M. Schmidt says, I absolutely love this song. And Lindana says, love and blessings. Thanks so much. A wonderful afternoon with Darren. My pleasure. Good to have you with us. I hope you'll watch regularly on the Jim Master Show Live. Appreciate that as well. And beautifully done from Lindana, and a stunning song, according to Nan. I agree. And also, M. Schmidt says, wonderful. Thanks for doing this one. Really, really nice. While you got the guitar there, is there something else you want to share with us, Darren?
Yeah, thank you so much for all the lovely comments. That's absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
I was reading that as I'm listening as well. It's just beautiful to see all that, and I'm just so glad that, like, I mean, I'm able to sit here at home and everybody can react like that. It's just brilliant, you know. And that song has done really, really well for us. And it was a surprise last year. It came out of nowhere. But I had a lovely surprise a few weeks ago, because I learned that it got its first cover version by a lady called Maxine Linehan, I think is her name. She's originally Irish, but she's now residing in Vermont. And it was recorded by her husband, who was a Grammy nominated producer, and mixed by a Grammy winner. And at the start of this year, I actually jokingly said to the guys, I bet you I'm going to have my name attached to something that says Grammy by the end of the year. Just laughing and joking with the boys. And there it was. I saw a release about it, and it was like unbelievable. You know,
congratulations
it's
on that.
version
Huh?
too.
Congratulations. Yeah. That's really, really cool, huh? I mean, some good news in 2020, right? A little good news in 2020. That is,
Jim, you're going to kill me. I'm losing you again.
Oh, you're losing the audio?
I'm so sorry.
Looks like an earthquake in Dublin.
I keep fiddling with this, you sound like you're a robot, and I'm trying to see if I can lip read what you're saying.
The iPhone not having any of this, I guess.
Yeah, it's probably the iPhone.
You have another song you want to sprinkle our way?
Or I can do a few more, whatever you like.
Sure, yeah.
Prepared here. 1 second now.
That is a beautiful guitar. And that tree behind you is nice too.
And you guys can hear me okay while I sing, right?
Yeah. Yes, we can. Yep. We'll play amongst ourselves. We're good at doing that here on the show. Hope
Okay.
everybody's having a
Well,
good time.
just in case we can't hear each other after this, I think I was going through different songs, and I thought that this might be, again, a kind of a poignant song. And we were just speaking about Frida Kelly and the Beatles and everything. But I think that this next song is timeless. And again, it's just so poignant and perfect for everything that's going on in the world right now. So I'm going to do this on the piano, which is ever so slightly in need of tuning, but I think it'll be okay. So if everybody knows it, just sing along at home. And again, my apologies for not being able to hear what you're saying, Jim. I know it's a pain in the behind, but now I've got you.
Now I see.
It just
See?
keeps coming in and out.
It's in and out. Yeah. That's
Okay.
2020 for you.
We're going to have to write a musical about this.
Yes.
Anyway, here we go.
All right.
When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. In my hour of darkness, she is standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. When the broken-hearted people living in the world agree, there will be an answer, let it be. Though they may be parted, there is still a chance that they will see. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, oh, let it be. There will be an answer, let it be. When the night is cloudy, there is still light that shines on me. Shine until tomorrow, let it be. I wake up to the sound of music. Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Oh, let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. There will be an answer, let it be. Oh, let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. There will be an answer, let it be.
Really good, my friend. Nice. You can hear us now, right? You can hear
You're
us?
gone again on me, sorry. You should
That
have
was
stayed
real.
on. You should have stayed on and sang with me. You would have stayed.
We could have just sang, let it be, let it be.
Got you,
Exactly.
got you. You're back now. You're back again.
We could have said that to your Wi-Fi. Just let it be, let it be.
God. You know
Well,
what?
while
It's
we're,
just again, it's just Murphy's law. It's 2020. It's
that's
in and out,
just
it's in and
part
out.
of
But for
the,
the most part, it's been really good. So couple of
absolutely.
little glitches here and there.
Well, while we're still here and everything is still connected, do you have another song you want to share while we're here, whether it's a holiday song or something High Kings or whatever it is, maybe?
You
They're
know,
loving it.
I'm going to do something I never sang before. I won't intro it.
Another world exclusive on the Jim Master Show Live.
Once bitten and twice shy. I kept my distance, but you still catch my eye. Tell me, baby, do you recognize me? Well, it's been a year, it doesn't surprise me. Last Christmas, I wrapped it up and said, with a note saying I love you, I meant it. Now I know what a fool I've been, but if you kiss me now, I know you'll fool me again. I know everybody out there's ready to go on this. Are you guys ready?
Last Christmas,
I gave you my heart, but the very
next
day
day, you
you
give it away. This year, save me from tears. Give it to someone special.
A crowded room, friends with tight eyes. I'm hiding from you, and you're so blind. My God, I thought you were someone to rely on. Me, I guess I was a shoulder to cry on. A face unlovable with a fire in his heart. A man undercover, but you tore me apart. Ooh, now I found a real love you never knew me again. Last Christmas, I gave you my heart, but the very next day,
You give it away. This year, to save me from tears, give it to someone special. Last Christmas, give me my heart. The next day, you give it away. Give it to someone special. Nice.
I heard everybody sing there. I heard everybody sing.
Yes, they were absolutely amazing. I mean, Lindana, so awesome, singing loudly, and the pets think that she's gone crazy as she's singing loudly. The pets are spinning around the room. Bernadette says trio here singing, which is really good. And Bernadette says bravo and brilliant. And Juanita is clap, clap, clap from South Africa. Bernadette says love it. And Kathleen says woohoo, claps, claps, claps. Last Christmas, beautiful from Sherry Schoenline. Lindana says, that's a beautiful name, Lindana. Sweet. Hope I'm saying it right. Lindana. It's a beautiful name. Leslie, awesome Darren. Leslie Cummings is here. And Willie in Holland, just basically almost across the channel from you in the Netherlands. Kathy Short in Cleveland, Cleveland, Ohio, one of my favorites, singing along Last Christmas. Did you ever meet George Michael? Because I know he's your mic is muted.
Sorry.
There you go. That's probably what it is. The mic probably muted.
I didn't take it. Can you hear me now? Yeah.
Yeah.
You got me. I was at a party in London many years ago, back in the 90s, and he was at the party, but he was surrounded by a lot of different people, so I didn't get the opportunity to go over and introduce myself or be introduced to him. But he was a total superstar. I mean, I remember when he walked into that party, he had an entourage with him, and you knew you were in the presence of something great and somebody great. He just oozed charisma and talent, and he had it all. But sadly, he as many people in the industry who look like they've got it all on the outside have their demons as well. And sadly, he succumbed to that. And what a massive loss he is. I just saw a documentary about him recently on TV, and that voice was just so
like Whitney
pure,
Houston,
so crystal clear. It was amazing,
like Whitney Houston's was too. Another one gone too soon.
Yeah.
Whitney Houston, she was amazing. Whitney too,
amazing. Yeah, it's so sad what the industry can do to people. I think honestly, if you don't have a good foundation around you, like something that you can leave the stage and go and have a strong sort of cushion around you, I think you're going to have problems, because it's a lonely life. It really is. It can be a brilliant, brilliant life, but there are times when it gets lonely, and for some people it's constantly lonely.
So how have you remained sane and balanced and stable through it all?
Um,
If you are.
I don't know if everybody would say I'm sane and balanced and stable, but there you go. I think you have to have a little bit of something. I don't know, whatever you believe in yourself, but everybody has something they believe in, whether it's your whatever religion you follow or whatever, or angels and stuff like that. But I think you have to have something that you can talk to in your head if you're going through anything, you know. And there's just like, look, and I'm not going to go down that road. I've had the best time doing what I do for a living. There's been a couple of times where I've been completely lost, but never lasted that long. You can talk your way through anything. I've been blessed to have some really, really great friends and mentors in the industry. A couple of people, at least 2 people that I know, that if I was in a serious issue and serious crisis about where to go next, what to do, that I could pick up the phone and go, help me out here. And by the time I get off the call, that's it. I'm good, and I know what I'm supposed to do. But I think it's good to have something to kind of, you know, in your head, just to get yourself over whatever obstacle or hurdle you're encountering. But also a good family, good background, and good upbringing, and remaining grounded. You know, I mean, look at if I'm BSing a bit too much, I have Michelle here to tell me to get it together and get my act together and stop being a prima donna, which thankfully she doesn't have to say an awful lot, because I think I'm at an age now where you kind of stop chasing that, whatever it is, that elusive next dream or whatever it is. And for years and years and years, I did that at any cost. But I think when you have family and you find that one person, and then you have, like I have 3 of the not only 3 beautiful kids, 3 of the best people I know. And I know this sounds weird for me to say that because I'm their dad, but they're brilliant people, let alone brilliant kids. They're just really great fun, and they ground you, you know what I mean? And they tell me when I'm being a bit silly as well. So to have that is just a thing. It's a blessing, and I wish everybody had that.
Exactly right. Just letting that soak in, because that's brilliant what you said. As Bernadette says, so well said, Darren, and the love and support of the wonderful family as well. Got the best wife, 100% family behind, and I think that's really, really important as well. Bernadette says, could listen all day. Thank you very much. We appreciate that, Bernadette. What are some of the things that continue to inspire you, through everything that you've experienced in this crazy industry? Is it the love of family and just having these old school roots? What's important in life? Not that, we all chase dreams and we all do different things to try to get where we want to go, but you've come to the realization of, and probably have always known, some of the things in life that truly matter the most, and the things that stick around, those things that are like the glue, those constants in life. That's what life is all about, because life is short, life is fleeting. We've certainly seen that this year, and it can change on a dime, and it's unpredictable, and anything can happen. So it's taking time to sort of breathe and appreciate everything that life really is all about, right? Perspectives.
Yeah. Absolutely. And going back to yourself as well, because we're friends for years and we're friends online. One of the things I admire about yourself is that, like, you always post the videos for Thanksgiving, and you're going back to your family, and all your family get together, and that beautiful house that you guys are down in Florida, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I love looking at that, because it really is what it's all about. And it's like every one of you forget about the modern world, and you just go into the family mode, and it is like an old school vibe. And I just love seeing your pictures, and it looks so idyllic, and that's kind of the kind of things, when you have friends and you can learn from them, then take the opportunity to learn from them. That's what I say.
Right. It's paying it forward, right? Sharing it and paying it forward. Do you ever see yourself as a teacher? Do you ever see yourself as teaching others and mentoring young minds in music and performance in the industry as well? Some people like to do that, as time marches on.
Yeah, probably not. As regards music, probably not teaching music. I tried that before, and well, I tried it at a time that I probably wasn't very patient for it. So probably not that. But what I would love to do is to do it like say how we're talking right now. I'd love to be able to mentor anybody who's getting into the industry or in the industry and having issues or whatever. Mentor them through it, talk them through how to behave, what to look out for on the road, the good things and the bad, and what to stay away from, how to maneuver their way through the business. Because look, at this business is a cesspit, and it has its positives, of course, but the amount of people who come along, opportunistic people who have absolutely no interest in your well-being, only their own pockets. And I've been had by them, and it's not too long ago either. But you've got to be able to be smart and savvy enough. You know this as well in what you do for a living. You know, you've got to have had these people come along, go, I can make you this, I can make you that. You've got to be able to look in somebody's eyes and know that they're genuine or they're spoofing you. And there's a lot of kids out there who are in the industry now, especially with the X Factor and all these be famous in 5 minutes, 4 or 5 minute shows. You know, all you are is a product. You might as well be on the supermarket shelf, because that's what it is. We've all been there. We've all been had, and we've all had our hearts broken and our spirits destroyed. But it's how you pop back. It's how you come back and get up and dust yourself off. A couple of times, and for me, I was ready to give it up, but I was like, well, no, why should I? You know, that's what I do for a living. And, you know, there's a 50-50 business in the music industry. It's 50% great, 50% not so great. You just got to be clever enough to walk away when you know that they're not genuine. And I think that's the thing. But that's, to answer the question, I would love to do that. I would love to actually be asked to do that from time to time. So yeah, maybe in a while, maybe next year, the year after, who knows?
Well, I think you're teaching already in a way through your music and through, you know, having the old soul and just the way you stay true to form, to who you are and what you're all about. That alone sets an example, not only for your children, but for others out there who are in not even just the music industry, just in life. I think, like I said, you and I are kindred spirits in the way we think about a lot of different things, about some of the priorities in life and what it's really all about. And that's a cool thing, because there's a lot of, you know, flash and buzz and bling all around us. And a lot of it's all really tempting and it's cool to have.
Yeah.
But then you got to maintain that. Then you got to maintain all the stuff that comes with that. And that can get a little, you know, you can get really worn out quickly by that.
And yeah, and I can go back into the night. I can actually, honest to God, say that, you know, if I met me in the 90s, if that person walked into the room and I met them, I could honestly say I probably wouldn't like him, because I lost sight of a lot of stuff back then. It was just the chase and the dream and the constant attempt to get ahead of whoever else was in the industry. And you kind of lose sight of things. Now you get to a point in your life where it's not so important anymore. You got to be happy with what you have and maintain a reasonable approach to what you want to achieve next, without kind of stepping on people or mixing with the wrong people and mixing with fakes who don't really know how to do it. I'm blessed now to be with a great band for over 13 years. We're blessed to have the people in the band that I have now, to finally have a great musician like Paul in the band, who has enhanced what we do, and who's a positive influence and a genuine talent. And to have brilliant management. You know, we've got new management, and there's 2 people there who are brilliant, and they're friends and they care, and our label Celtic Collections are fantastic, and Rona is a brilliant person. Rona Kelly, who runs that label, she's fantastic, and it's more of a big happy family now than it ever was. And these are the positives. These are the things you have to genuinely thank God or whoever it is for, that they maneuvered you through all that swamp, to quote a certain president, just to get you through that and figure out your way to where you are right now. But look, I feel very, very privileged to be still in the industry after all these years. And how many, I don't know, I started in the late 80s, probably didn't start properly professionally until probably the early 90s, but here I am. I survived to tell the tale. And somebody asked me to write a book recently. A journalist here asked me to write a book, but I don't know, maybe a little while longer, get a couple more stories and chapters down first. And that could be a book about the industry, actually. Going back to what we were talking about, that might be a way of doing it.
That would be really, really cool. Yeah, something like that. Because I mean, you've seen it all. You've had an opportunity. I mean, there's the Broadway and television. I mean, obviously, the High Kings have been on television, stage, clubs, pubs. I mean, the breadth of experience and background is there and continues to grow as well. So that could be a fantastic memoir or autobiography as well.
Yeah.
When March came, were the High Kings pretty much booked for 2020 with concerts and concerts and concerts, and all of it came to everybody told me that everything that several people, Cuneo, who used to be in Under the Street Lamp, and now Michael Cuneo, and now he goes by Cuneo. He was on in the summertime, and he was talking about how 2020 was going to be his biggest year ever. Like everything he worked for in his life, bookings and gigs and events and all this stuff. And then, whoosh, and he's even dealt with a little anxiety, a little bit of depression, and he's, he's come out of all that, which is wonderful. But in the early months, it was really tough. And the longer this has gone on, it's been tough because the lack of interaction with people and liking the online, but the online not really giving him the juice that they need to be on the stage and to be out there and amongst the people. How about for you with all of this?
Yeah, well, I mean, look, we kind of we started our American tour. We finished a massive Irish tour and went straight to the States. But we had a 40-day tour. It was the biggest tour we had done in a long time. Because again, we had just signed with the APA agency who were great. We had a new crew. We knew everything, and it was a whole new adventure. And I was off to an amazing start. But I kept saying to the guys, this thing it could affect us yet. I'm watching the news, and this virus, and the guys were kind of like, yeah, we better keep an eye on that. And it just got to the inevitable place where we had 20 dates done exactly. We were in Virginia, and we had no choice but to call it. It was just, we have to go home, and we were under our management who were over here, and we had to do it very quick. It was heartbreaking because we were set up to be booked the entire year. I was actually looking at having little or no time off this year, and instead it's done a flip-flop, and I've been nothing but off, obviously. We had Australia, we had Germany, we had Japan, we had Holland, we had UK, we had further tours of the USA, Ireland, you name it, we had it in. Nothing had happened. So it's been pushed back, and it continuously gets pushed back. It's not in our hands. The online thing, we haven't really done too much of that. It's nice to be able to connect like this, and it's nice to be able to do it, but it obviously isn't the same feeling as standing on a stage with your 3 other mates beside you and singing for a couple of thousand people or whatever it is, and feeling that, But in another sense, it is nice to be able to think in your head that somebody is listening somewhere in the world, and you're probably reaching a better audience, whatever. But nothing like that feeling, that exhilaration when you're actually in the same room as an audience, or you're getting the reaction firsthand.
Right.
But it is what it is. It's like you have to make do with what you're dealt. You have to, go with the cards you're dealt.
Exactly right. And it's, you make the lemonade out of the lemons. Absolutely.
Exactly.
It's very important. Got a couple more really cool photos here I just want to show. Tell us about that one. That's cool.
That is, I think that's Vicar Street here in Dublin. So one of our venues here in Dublin. That was on the last tour, I think. And yeah, that was an amazing show. That's one of the big shows. Everybody plays Vicar Street once or twice in their career when they come along to Ireland. I remember seeing, actually the last band I saw there, I think was the Beach Boys, actually, the new Beach Boys with Mike Love and those guys, they played there. But that was probably near the end of that Irish tour I just mentioned, which was phenomenal. It was our biggest selling Irish tour. And again, it's so ironic because the American tour was pretty much sold out as well. And, we had, you're making plans for at the end of the year and how you're going to celebrate and what you're going to do next. And, somebody else had a word or somebody else had a plan about all of that stuff. But look, as I said, the band's never been in a better place than it is right now, musically, personnel wise. We've just had the best time. We're all friends. we're all in contact all the time. We're still working away. We're still recording online, and we're still planning. And we have an album out in February next year, and we've been releasing some live videos online. It's a live album. It's basically, we couldn't tour the world, so what we're doing is we're bringing the world to us. We're doing a live tour live from Dublin. We've picked 10 songs from places around the world. We've released 3 of them already. We did The Streets in London, Wild Colonial Boy, and The Dutchman, and there's one more to go. We want to keep everything as a surprise, so I'm not going to name any of the songs. But and we're already in the planning stages for an album after that as well. So we're keeping busy in that sense. I mean, I don't think any of us want to lose sight of what we do for a living, or the High Kings. And I thankfully, thank God that our fans around the world won't allow us to lose sight, because they've been the machine behind keeping us going throughout all of this. And it's constant support and constant, encouragement down through everybody online, which is really, really great. And we're very grateful and thankful to everybody who takes the time out of their day or takes the time out of their evening just to get on and write down a couple of words or react to whatever we put online, musically or any other which way. So we're blessed by that.
Absolutely, my friend. I wonder if you have one last song, and maybe you could do. It's a nice way to sort of wrap things a little bit. You want to do Silent Night, maybe?
What was that?
You want to do Silent Night?
Silent Night. I could do Silent Night, actually.
Or do you have something else?
I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll do a verse of Silent Night, and then I was going to do one other, a different song. But
perfect, yeah.
You know what? I just figured out something. Every time you go off screen and come back, I can't hear you. So you got to stay on screen. Don't move, Jim.
Don't go anywhere.
Easy. Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin mother and child, holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace. There's a storm across the valley, clouds are rolling in. The afternoon is heavy on your shoulders. There's a truck out on the 4-lane, a mile or more away. Winding all his wheels just makes it colder. She's an hour away from writing on your prayers up in the sky. 10 days on the road are barely gone. And your mother called last Friday, sunshine made her cry. You built the baby moon just yesterday. And hey, it's good to be back home again. Sometimes this old farm feels like a long lost friend. Yes, and hey, it's good to be back home again. There's all the news to tell them. it off. Come on. Hey, it's good to be back home again. Yes, it is. Sometimes it's so far. He's like a long lost friend. Yes, and hey, it's good to be back home again. And all the time that I can lay this tired old body down and feel your fingers that are soft upon me. Kisses that I live for, the love that lights my way, the happiness that living with you brings me. It's the sweetest thing I know of, just spending time with you. It's the little things that make a house a home. Like a fire softly burning, summer on the stove. The light in your eyes that makes me warm. Here we go. Hey, it's good to be back home again. Yes, it is. Sometimes it's so far, feels like a long lost friend. Yes, and hey, it's good to be back home again. I said, hey, it's good to be on the Jim Masters show again.
Awesome, my friend. Love that. That sounds like a theme in there for the show somehow. I don't
There you
know.
go.
I
Let's
think you're.
go. How many
Yeah,
people call my people?
those. That's it. All the lovities, right? This was fantastic, my friend. Would you believe that we have chatted for almost 3 hours, 2 hours,
Time
and like
flies,
40
Jack. Having
minutes?
fun.
It doesn't. It really doesn't seem like that. Every guest, oh, and even the viewers always say that because of the, I try to create like a warm, inviting, just anything can happen, let it roll. No scripting, no
Yeah.
questions, no, and I know that there's been times like when we've been in the studios where, we have like a certain window to ask a couple questions and then get to
Yeah.
the DVD or get to the tickets or get to the CD or whatever. And other than when we hung out through the High Kings events, I'm seeing this has been extraordinary. And I knew that when you popped on, we would have such a great time. And it was really amazing catching up with you. Like I said, for those who are joining us maybe late, Darren really is a cool cat. He's very, very dedicated to what he does. He's dedicated to his craft. He's dedicated to his musicianship and everything. And of course, the High Kings and to his fans and to his family. And this was again the night when we first initially met, and this was in America on television, on public television, and the High Kings had come in, and I was tasked with meeting the guys and chatting with the guys and interviewing them live on TV, and we just stayed connected ever since. And this was, emceeing their event, one of their concerts, which was again sold out. And this was in New Haven, Connecticut. This was at the Kate in Old Saybrook, Connecticut. There's behind the scenes as well. And again, we've just stayed friends all these years. There's lots of Irish in these photos. Let me tell you, there's a heck of a lot of potato lovers and Irish in all these photos. And really, truly a blessing, my friend. And I thank you for sharing all this time with us, all of your talent, your fabulous stories about your life and your family and some of those early beginnings. The inspirations when you were a kid of the family and all the other incredible opportunities that have come your way. And that story with Billy Joel is just unreal too. I didn't even realize the depth of that, but that's truly a blessing. Let me show you some of these comments coming in from our lovely viewers here on the show. Blessings and stay safe from LaDonna. Thanks for watching, LaDonna. Hope you'll check us out. I'm going to be back in about an hour. I'm going to have a quick dinner. I feel like
I don't know how you do it.
I feel like Clark Kent, who becomes Superman. I'm going to be switching. We have Ashley Davis on at 7:00 Eastern our time.
I love Ashley. She's great.
I will. And she's got a beautiful voice too. It's going to be a great show. But 7 Eastern. I'll be back in about an hour and 10 minutes, folks, with a whole brand new episode of our show. But LaDonna says blessings and stay safe. You too, LaDonna. Thanks for joining us. Hope you join us again. This was a great time. Merry Christmas to you and your family, Darren. Thank you for watching, Leslie Cummings. We hope you'll join us again. David Malone, thanks for hanging with us as well. Well done, guys. Thank you very much. Kathy Short in Cleveland, Ohio. Great afternoon of entertainment today. I got my Christmas cards made while she was listening to our show. That's cool. Thank you again, Darren. Happy Christmas to you and your family. Donna, thanks for doing the carol, one of their favorites. Willie in Holland. Thanks. And thanks. Kathleen in New York City. Thanks, Jim and Darren. Jennifer Barry. Darren, thank you so much for spending time with us. Love ya. Slancha. And she started the afternoon a couple of hours ago with some Jameson whiskey. How you feeling out there in Allentown about now, Jen? You're kind of zen about now, right? That Jameson kicked in.
I'm jealous.
She got buried in like we had a major nor'easter snowstorm hit the Northeast. So she's buried in, under her blanket with her Jameson in the snowstorm. Thank you, Jim Masters. Thank you, Darren. We enjoyed this and stay safe. Thank you, Patricia, and hope you'll watch our show. All the episodes are on our YouTube channel at Jim Masters TV. 39 weeks, 200 plus episodes and growing. Kathy says, love it. Fabulous and beautiful from LaDonna. And LaDonna also loved Silent Night, too. That was really, really great. Another amazing and uplifting show. Thank you, Jim and Darren. It's been an absolute pleasure being in Loverty Hall today, which is what they call it. Jennifer says, Jim and Darren are both melting the Irish heart. Only me, Irish daddy, who I lost at 16, could do that. He's alive in me, heart, and I'm home. Carol says, what a great evening. Definitely a book in you waiting to be written once the touring stops as well. We love that. That's right. He's going to get writing soon. He's going to get writing. And Bernadette welcomes LaDonna to our show and to the community as well. Nan says, Darren, thank you for sharing part of yourself with us. LaDonna made a Lou Loverty today. She's one of our Loverties. Absolutely. Awesome. And Darren's one of the Loverties too. The audience already said that. They've deemed him a Loverty. You could be a Sir Darren, or you could be a Loverty on the Jim Masters show. I think, the prestige is about equal.
Absolutely. Loverty it is.
It is. Great show today. Merry Christmas to Darren and his family. Absolutely. And smiles and laughs from David. And Kathleen says, thanks, Jim and Darren. And good stuff, my friend. This really was a toast to you, and really enjoyed it.
Thank you for the lovely invitation to come on. And it's, as we said, it's just been brilliant to catch up with you. But thanks for everything that you've done. I mean, without I don't know how many people realize, I know that the PBS thing, but without you promoting and constantly being in our corner, I'm not sure how well we would have done in the States to begin with. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts on behalf of everybody in the band for everything you did for us and for everything you did for so many other Irish artists as well. I mean, your name pops up quite a lot when we're talking amongst ourselves and about the States and touring and promotion. All those TV shows, as I said, it was great to see you turning up on many of them. So thank you for that, and thank you for having me on. It's been wonderful. I've really enjoyed my Saturday night here. I think it's, what is it now? It's almost 11 p.m. here. So I'm about ready for my Jameson now. So
you got it. You've earned it. You sang for your supper and for your drink. This was terrific. And there's somebody else watching who also had a great time. George Burns.
Oh, George, absolutely.
He loved it. Yeah, that's right.
Brilliant.
Good night.
Brilliant.
Good night, Gracie. Well, I hope this show, because you and I have been chatting for a number of weeks. We wanted to put it together. We wanted to do a really nice show together. And, your team and you and me here, we were putting it all together. And I thank everybody for putting it all together. You are welcome back anytime, my friend. The porch light will always be kept on for you. And I really hope that, because I know you watch the show, you've checked out the show as a viewer, which I really appreciate, and seen some of the other guests who've been on, which I think is really cool. Continue to spread the word for us. We appreciate that. But now you've had an opportunity to come on, and I hope the show really met whatever expectations that you might have had.
Definitely it did. And I always prefer chats like this when I'm promoting anything, or whenever I'm doing any live stuff on radio or TV or online. I always prefer it to be more like a conversation with an old friend, rather than first question, second question, third question. It gets quite monotonous doing it like that, especially when you're doing a lot of it. It's all great to have the promotion, but I much prefer when it's relaxed and just chilled out like this, because you can get your point across better.
Exactly. Right.
It's just cool to be able to see you again and catch up like this. And thanks for the invitation. I'll be back. I'll be kicking down the door. I won't even stay on the porch. I'll be just knocking on the door the whole time.
Like Schwarzenegger said, right? I'll be back. Landana says, this has been fantastic. Thank you. It's our pleasure. Darren and I enjoyed all of this Irish crack with all of you. Please come back soon, Darren, especially since you're a Lovity now. God bless. Happy holidays to you and your family. Be safe. And Deb says, thanks, Jim and Darren. Loved the show. Our pleasure. My friend, best of the holidays to you and your family. Hopefully we'll see you either here in the States. I hope to get over there. I was supposed to be on a TV shoot in Ireland this year, and Texas and Florida, but that all got paused with everything going on. But I know that when I do come to Ireland, there's some wonderful places and people to see and visit when I do come. And I look forward to that. And may 2021 be really good to you and the family. And I really appreciate all this time chatting with you, almost 3 hours. And, next time when you come back, we don't have to go that long. But it was really cool catching up. And I really appreciate it, my friend.
Likewise. And thank you once again for the lovely invitation. Thanks for having me on. And thanks to everybody, all your listeners and viewers, for tuning in and
all the lovities.
Having the crack with us, as they say, and likewise to you. Have a lovely Christmas, you and your entire family, wherever you are. Having it, be safe and be healthy. And 21, we'll get back to being normal, and we'll get back to touring and seeing everybody again. Just got to keep the faith, keep everybody going, keep us all positive. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely. Carol says, thanks, Jim and Darren. Just what I needed tonight, because I know you said Christmas with the lockdown in the UK. So Carol, our pleasure. And so you get an idea more of what Darren's all about, what I'm all about. So feel free to enjoy his music. Feel free to come here and enjoy our show as well, as often as you want, Carol. And David says he's going to buy me a Guinness. Oh, cool.
Dave knows where the best Guinness is. And I know that for a fact, because he's
sold
for a Guinness a few times.
A Guinness. That's right.
Yeah,
a Guinness.
Yeah. You know how that ends.
Can he twist the shamrock in the foam? Some of the Irish places here.
Anybody can do that. Yeah.
He can. Yeah. This is right. Kathleen says this is the place if you need a smile. And she just lost her mother about 2 months ago, and she's really enjoying these shows. Now I'll have you say what Bernadette wrote there.
Nolly that's Merry Christmas, Happy Christmas.
Oh, I love that. Now, is that Gaelic?
Yeah, it's Irish. Yeah.
That is Gaelic. Yeah. I got to learn a little bit more of the Gaelic. I just know my father still says film instead of film. Film.
So does mine.
Yeah. That's more, I don't know if it's in Northern or what it is, but it's
my agent, my old agent, my former agent, Merle, from New York, was known here by my wife, who knew her as Merle. So it's a thing, we double barrel everything. My youngest daughter Sophie does it as well. She puts an extra syllable on things.
Yeah, so bottle instead of bottle.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it. Well, you go grab your bottle now, because you've earned it.
Absolutely. And thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. And God bless you and everybody for Christmas. And we'll speak soon. Please God.
Absolutely, my friend. You take care. And thanks for joining us on the show. Thanks, on everything. Jim. And let's stay in touch, okay?
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. God bless you. Thanks a million.
You as well, my friend. You take care. Bye-bye now. Darren Holden, live from Dublin, Ireland, performing, entertaining, inspiring conversation, and so much more. And we really hope you guys enjoyed it. This was really, really cool. And it always is. All the guests, all the conversations. And again, this was the very first night that we met, actually, the whole gang. Finbar and Brian Dunphy, and of course Darren there. And this was at public television. And we literally have stayed in touch ever since. Rooting for each other's careers, rooting for each other's accomplishments. And that is rare in these industries. And again, I was interviewing all the guys from the High Kings at that time. And this was in New Haven, Connecticut. And they asked me actually if I wanted to serve as their host and MC for their concert at a popular place called Toad's Place, which is in New Haven, Connecticut. And that was a cool night. And this was at the Cape in Old Saybrook, Connecticut. And this was backstage. And then Darren had taken this photo of us post-show, after the show, and he posted it on his social media afterwards. And it was really cool. We had a great time. But he's one cool cat. He's a good guy. He's authentic. He's got his priorities right in life. He's very talented. And I knew that all of you would enjoy having him as my special guest here on the Jim Masters Show live. It was really terrific. Thanks to everybody joining us. And if you are watching on YouTube, we welcome you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have so many shows and so many guests coming up. Want to let you know who's going to be with us tomorrow. We've got a very special guest tomorrow. Actually, tonight, in about an hour, we have Ashley Davis, and she has a wonderful, amazing Irish background as well. And she's going to be joining us in just about an hour. Yeah, a little less than an hour. And there she is there. She's going to be live at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Orla Fallon, who used to be with Celtic Woman, is going to be live tomorrow. That's 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific, and 8 p.m. in Ireland, Scotland, and England. That is tomorrow. She's going to be live. That'll be on our YouTube channel at Jim Masters TV. So Orla Fallon is tomorrow. That's Sunday. Ashley Davis from the Ashley Davis Band. Colin Farrell is actually in her band as well. She's going to be here in 1 hour from now at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Tomorrow night, Michael Lundra, Emmy-winning singer and songwriter and performer. All excited. He's going to be with us. That is tomorrow evening, Sunday evening, live on our YouTube channel at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Luke McMaster, Canadian singer and songwriter extraordinaire, is going to be with us on Monday night as well. And again, from the High Kings, our great friend, Darren Holden. We thank him for joining us. Hope you guys had a really good time. Want to let you know Nathan Carter, wonderful English country music star, is going to be joining us in January. So is phenomenal international Greek tenor Mario Frangoulis, live from Athens, Greece. He's going to be with us as well. Once again, we do thank my buddy Darren Holden. Glad you guys enjoyed the show. Probably you were singing along with us as well. Even though his technology on his end was a little crazy, we made it through. Santa Claus wishes you the best of the holidays. This is when I was playing Santa Claus in New York City, as well as emceeing a concert event. And then they asked me to play Santa Claus at the same time. So we're there as Santa Claus. Yours truly, wishing you the best of the holiday season to you and yours. If you haven't seen the tree in New York City at Rockefeller Center, Rockefeller Plaza, there it is. It's very beautiful this year and every year. And as we always say, don't forget to smile and share the smile with everybody in your life. Don't forget to share the levity. That's really important to do as well. Find your Zen place. Here in the Northeastern United States, mine always is with loving family and friends. Of course, the ocean, swimming, surfing, kiteboarding, sailing the ocean, all of it. The ocean is my go-to Zen place, as well my career in television and radio and so much more all these years, working on camera and behind the scenes as a television and radio host, presenter, performer, entertainer, and so much more. So those are some of my Zen places. Of course, tennis, music, writing, good times. And don't forget to relax, gang. We always say relax and take care of one another. Relax, breathe from the diaphragm, love others and be good to others. We've talked about that a lot here on this show. And of course, don't forget to love yourself. It's very important, not in an egotistical, greedy way. Just love the contributions you make to the planet, because everybody is equal. Everybody deserves a chance. Everybody should be respected, honored, and valued. And we respect and don't forget to relax. We respect, honor, and value every single one of you who watches the Jim Masters Show live entertainment lifestyle talk show series, who spreads the word, who enjoys the levity, as we call it, the good times, the good vibes, the conversations, the entertainment, the surprises, on location segments, all the things we've done for almost 40 weeks here with a couple of hundred episodes of our incredible series every day. I'll be back again. There's 2 shows today, 2 shows tomorrow. If you missed the episode we did with Sir James Galway and Lady Jean Galway, that was yesterday. You can see it on our YouTube channel at Jim Masters TV. If you want to see Paul Byram, Ryan Kelly, Damon McKinty, Chloe Agnew, Renee Nesbitt, if you want to see Corner Boy and Roy Buckley and Connor McGinty, if you want to see Keith Harkin, who was last Saturday night, or any of the great Irish artists, they're all here. I've had them all as guests on our show. Phil Coulter as well. Now Darren Holden, Orla Fallon tomorrow, Ashley Davis in less than an hour. Really cool. And we're all about everything on this show, not just music and performance, but this show is an entertainment lifestyle talk show series that celebrates life and all the wonderful nuances of it. So, gang, we're going to wrap because we've got a quick change we're to do, and we still got to eat before we meet up. We usually meet up with our guest about 15 minutes before the show. Make sure, if they're a performer, we do a sound check. And it was interesting because about 5 minutes before Darren was coming on, his computer system started failing. So that's why we came on a little bit late. He and I were trying to figure it out on his end. And I'm glad he was here. And we had almost 3 hours of conversation and music, especially at the holiday time, right? Wonderful messages and good conversation, especially during the holiday time. Jim, you and Darren with our Irish good, magical, happy holidays happenings. Thank you both. You as well, Jennifer. Star. Thank you, Willie. We appreciate that. Enjoy your meal. Thank you, Willie. And thank you so much, Jim. I enjoyed the afternoon. All the singing. Catch you later. Of course, the High Kings, absolutely. You got it. That's right. They are fantastic. Juanita in South Africa says, great show, Jim. Love Darren. Such a nice guy. Good night, everyone. Stay safe and be good. I've got cool friends, don't I? Cool people who are talented. And see you in a bit. Enjoy supper. See you later. Jim, I love you. Happy holidays. See you tonight. Absolutely. See you in an hour. Thank you, Willie. We're going to have a great time with Ashley Davis. Enjoy the meal. If you want to learn Irish, I'm going to have to do that. Yes. I want to be a bilingual. I want to learn a couple of different languages, actually. One of them here in the United States, I took Spanish in college as one of the courses for my, work in television, radio, and everything. And I know some of the words, but I need to brush up on my Spanish. So I'd like to do some Spanish episodes too. I'd like to be bilingual. And of course, yes, to learn the Gaelic. Absolutely. And Merry Christmas to you as well, Bernadette. That's Merry Christmas in Gaelic, which is Irish. This is the place if you need to smile. Thank you, Kathleen. I appreciate that very much. All right, gang, stay safe, be well. We will be back in less than an hour with Ashley Davis here on the Jim Masters Show Live. This was an extraordinary episode, one of many, all available on our YouTube channel. And I know an excellent teacher of Gaelic, Jim. You know him? Well, that is fantastic. You too, my friend. All right, we'll see you soon. If you're back with us at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific with another incredible show with Ashley Davis, we look forward to that. If you're not, all the episodes are available on our YouTube channel right here. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We would appreciate that. We would love that. You can also find me on Facebook at Jim Masters TV, Instagram, Twitter, Periscope, and Twitch, all at Jim Masters TV. We made it easy, streamlined it. It's all Jim Masters TV. Love you all. Thanks for all the love, support, tagging, and sharing, and spreading the word and telling everybody about our entertainment lifestyle talk show series, The Jim Masters Show Live. We'll be back in moments. We will see you soon. A couple more comments, and then we are going to scoot off. You're dancing in your living room. Absolutely. Absolutely, Ian. You got it, my friend. All right, gang. We'll see you soon. 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. I'll be back with Ashley Davis, and it's going to be absolutely amazing. Thank you, Willie in the Netherlands. You got it. All right, gang. Here comes our theme music, the Jim Masters Singers and Orchestra, which Jennifer Barry in Allentown, Pennsylvania loves. She dances in the kitchen whenever she hears our theme music. It's time to eat. Wow. Time to eat. Regroup. We'll see you soon. Thanks. We love you all. Thanks for watching the episode of the Jim Masters Show Live with our special guest from the High Kings, my buddy, Darren Holden. See you soon. Happy holidays. Thanks for joining us. Bye-bye.